The former players are out there forming the gauntlet, hoisting the M Club banner, and the current Wolverines are now heading out under that banner and out onto the gridiron for the last time in this regular season. I'll tell you what, Jim, what a scene this is.
I can't tell you. This is great to be a part of and watch. We wish everybody in our listening audience could get a load of this. It's just the emotion. You can feel it, the intensity. You can cut it with a knife. It's all here in this stadium with this Michigan football team running out in between all of the great Michigan football players, all in their lettered jackets from the time when they played. What a great moment. And what a great way to start this great classic rivalry out in the year 2003.
It may delay the start of the ball game by a couple of minutes. I don't think anybody's going to notice or mind. Yeah, you can tell who's coming out of that eastern tunnel now. It's the white-shirted, gray-helmeted, gray-panted Ohio State Buckeyes with the red numerals on those jerseys. They're the Ogres of the Owen-Tangy once again as they head into the big house today. The defending national champions, ranked ahead of Michigan in all the national polls and hoping to knock off the Wolverines on their home turf and counting on a victory here, propelling them back into the Sugar Bowl to perhaps defend their national title again this year. Their faithful are smaller in number, but equally fervent down in the southern end zone, the southwest corner where most of them are gathered. In just a few moments, friends, you're going to hear a roar above. After the national anthem, the Black Knights, the Marine Aviators, will be flying in the diamond formation, 4 F-18s in a flyover. But prior to that, the Michigan Marching Band presents our national anthem here at the Big House for the final time in this 2003 campaign before the game. Now, are you ready for some football?
Man, they can't kick this thing off quick enough. Let's go.
Will Smith, Tim Anderson, Craig Krenzel, and Michael Jenkins represent the Buckeyes at the coin toss. For Michigan, it's Grant Bowman, Carl Diggs, Chris Perry, and John Navarre. Jim Lapatina's the referee.
Tails. He said tails. It's heads.
So Michigan wins the toss. And the Wolverines always defer, and they do once again. Jim Lapatina, the referee. Ohio State will get the ball first, he says. The umpire today, Roger Haberer. The linesman, Brent Durbin. Tom Ranson is the line judge. Norm Nelson, the field judge. Joe Duncan, the side judge. The back judge is Jack Lyman. This is a veteran crew, Jim, with Jim Lapatina out there running the show. And this officiating crew likes to let the guys play. And in Michigan, Ohio State, that's what you expect. A clean game. It's one of the most respectful games of the year. And it's just good, hard-hitting, hard-fought football between two of the best programs in the history of intercollegiate athletics, presenting the best rivalry in all of sports.
No question in my mind that you are correct, and you're right about the clean, hard-hitting game, because both teams have great respect for each other. They know when you line up, you're lining up against the best. You need your best to beat the best, and both of these teams will give what they've got today to try to come out on top in a game with huge implications.
Back deep for Ohio State. We will see Maurice Hall going back for the opening kick along with Bam Childress. Troy Smith and Chris Gamble, who were both out late last week, are not back. They're the regular return men. And so we'll see what Jim Tressel does with them, and also with Santonio Holmes, the wide receiver. But we see the first indication of what's happening on the opening kick with Hall deep and Childress back as well.
And just to let everybody know, earlier today, the Ohio State sports information man came in here. He didn't know. So Coach Tressel has kept it under wraps.
Nienberg's kick, high and end over end. Maurice Hall at the 1-yard line, left side. He comes upfield to the 10. Woodley chases him outside. He's got some room to the 20, and he is spun down at the 25-yard line or so. And that's where Ohio State will go on offense. Prescott Burgess in on the tackle along with Jerome Jackson, the backup running back. So here we go. The Ohio State offense, which failed to score touchdowns this year in 3 of their victories, run by Utica Ford's Craig Krenzel. The offensive line, Nick Mangold at center, Alex Stepanovich, the former starting center, now at right guard, Adrian Clark, the left guard, Rob Sims, and Shane Olivier, the tackles. A very good tight end in Ben Hartsock, the starting running back, Liddell Ross. Krenzel's going to throw on first down to Jenkins, left side. He caught it, and he's hit immediately by Curry, and down he goes after a gain of about 7 yards on that quick hitch left sideline to the 32-yard line. Ohio State comes out throwing, call it a gain of 6.
Ohio State throwing the football early. Is that an indication that Coach Tressel does not think that they'll be able to run the ball effectively against Michigan? Or is it that he wants to get big yards on first down to open up the run game?
Jenkins out to the left, out to the right comes Bam Childress. 2 tight ends, Hamby and Hartsock, both wide side right. Counter play right. Ross breaks a tackle at the line and fights for a couple of yards out to the 29. He got through Ernest Chazor, and it was Grant Bowman who finally wrapped him up. It'll be 3rd down for the Buckeyes and 2 to go at the 34. And they like to play it close to the vest, Jim.
Oh, they do.
You look at the numbers the last 2 years. John Navarre has thrown 103 times for 453 yards the last 2 years. Craig Krenzel in 2 games has thrown only 23 times for 242 yards. Single setback again. It's Liddell Ross on 3rd and 2. Krenzel's going to throw. He fires out in the right flat to Hartsock. He's wrapped up immediately at the line of scrimmage by Ernest Chazor, who would not let him get away. It's 4th down. Ohio State will have to punt.
The key in this offense is Krenzel is trying to throw the ball quickly. That in the flat. Ernest Chazor right there. Man-man coverage on the tight end. Huge play. Michigan forces a 3 and out.
Now one of the biggest weapons for the Buckeyes, B.J. Sander, the left-footed kicker, to boot it away to Steve Preston. Line of scrimmage is the 34. The snap a good one. And the kick got away. Avant almost broke through. Breston awaits this high spiral. Grabs it on the 23. Spins it away from one man, but a knee went down. And they'll rule him down at the 23. Now the Buckeyes, Tyler Everett, the backup defensive back, was all over him. And while Breston did spin away, a knee went down to the ground. And so Breston is ruled down, and Michigan goes on offense for the first time at its own 23. John Navarre will be the quarterback, of course. Dave Pearson at center, Matt Lenson, David Boss the guard, Tony Pape and Adam Stenovich the tackles. Tim Massacoy is the tight end, along with Andy Minery, both on the right. Offset I with Dudley and Perry in the backfield, power to the left, and now Dudley in motion right. They're going to blitz on first down. Navarre to throw. He fires short through the hands of Massaquoi and intercepted on a dive by Gamble, but they rule that ball hit the ground. Oh, man, was that close. Navarre did a good job. He wanted to throw quickly to the left to Braylon Edwards, but he was covered. He looked back. He had Massaquoi open, flipped it to him, and it went right through his hands.
Well, and the thing is, Massaquoi was open. And John threw a nice pass in there, but he let it go through his hands, and that tipped ball almost got picked off by the Bucks. Interesting early, the matchup. They used Will Smith, their great defensive lineman, line him up on the right defensive end, working against Adam Stenovich.
And now Massaquoi moves over to that left side to help block on Will Smith. We'll set the rest of that defense in a moment. Nobody in the backfield. Navarre to throw on 2nd and 10. Right flat. He fires to Perry. Got it. Turns it upfield to the 30. Tries to spin to a tackle. Dustin Fox, the corner's got him. Spins him out of bounds on the 31. That'll be a gain of 8 yards, set up 3rd down and 2. Here's the Buckeye defense now. Up front, they are very, very good. Will Smith is one of the best defensive linemen in the country. He's a 3-year starter, a finalist for the Hendricks Award for the best defensive end. The other end is Simon Frazier. Inside, you've got Darian Scott and Tim Anderson, another great one on the nose. Fred Puggett, the son of the former defensive coordinators, the middle linebacker. Robert Reynolds and A.J. Hawk are the outside backers. On the corners, Chris Gamble, Dustin Fox. The safeties, Nate Sally and Will Allen. 3rd and 2. Navarre turns, gives to Perry. He's knifing his way through the middle. He's got a hole over the 35 to the 36. First down, Michigan. Chris Perry running hard. Nate Sally up from the secondary to make the stop. Michigan's first running play results in a 5-yard gain.
The interesting thing about Ohio State, defensively they're very aggressive, but they're also very wide side of the field conscious. Michigan, when you're on the right hash, I think they'll have better success running into the boundary rather than going wide to the wide side of the field. 4
wideouts for the Wolverines, including Avant, who's really in a tight end spot. Breaston, Calvin Bell, Braylon Edwards, the others. Navarre to throw, looking, fires short. Avant's got it, wrapped up immediately at the 40 by Robert Reynolds, the strong side linebacker.
And Avant's hurt.
Avant was spun down hard to the ground. He is slow getting up after that gain of about 5 yards, and he is still down. Paul Schmidt is out there to attend to Avant. They've now got him in a seated position. He was grabbing his left leg, Jim, somewhere around the calf, and now he's up on his feet, but boy, he's hurting, and he's telling Paul Schmidt, I want to walk off under my own power, but you can see he's in such pain. That's going to be tough for him to do. He's limping badly as he comes to the sideline. Now he takes the helmet off and can barely put pressure on that left leg, but he doesn't want anybody to help him.
And he's upset he's going to have to come out of this game.
He's in tears down there.
Now you can imagine how much you prep for this game, how much you want to be involved in it, and after 3 plays, you're out because of an injury.
The sophomore out of Chicago, Avant, out of the lineup. 2nd down and 5. Wolverines on their 41. Carl Tabb is in as a 3rd wide receiver. Ohio State changing the defense. Jumping around, they've got 8 men at the line. Here's a handoff to Perry up the middle. He bounces left, now back to his right with a nifty cut. And he got up close to the 45-yard line. It's wrapped up there by Nate Sally, the free safety, with plenty of help. A.J. Hawk was there.
What you saw was typical of the Ohio State defense. They will move a lot right before the snap. Michigan coaches call it they stem, which means that you can get to the line of scrimmage and that Ohio State defense will move, shift the line left, they'll bring the backs up or move them back out. So as a quarterback, you got to beware of late movement if you want to check into a different play.
3rd down and 2. They're moving Will Smith over against Stenovich and Minery on the left side of the line. 2 tight ends, Massaquoi on the right. Play action fake. Navarre to throw. Left sideline. Oh, man. A little too high. Incomplete for Braylon Edwards. He was shoved by Dustin Fox, but the ball was uncatchable. And a good no call right there. And it's going to be 4th down, and the Wolverines will send out the punt team. Back deep to receive the kick, Michael Jenkins, who averages about 9.5 yards a run back. And Michigan taking its time sending out the punt unit.
There was no flag.
Apparently Howard King said on the PA there was a flag on the play. I didn't see one, and now he says there is no flag. So Adam Finley out to punt. And Ohio State only 6 men at the line. Michael Jenkins back on his own 15. No score early in the game. 10:31 to go first quarter. The snap from Rossman is good. The kick good. High spiral. Fair catch called for by Jenkins. And he grabs the ball around the 14-yard line of Ohio State. So a good punt. It goes for 40 yards, no run back on the fair catch, and Ohio State is pinned deep, something they're accustomed to doing to their opponents quite often. No score in the Big House after one possession for each side. From Host Communications, you're listening to The Game on the Michigan Sports Network. No score, one possession for each side. Michigan wins the field position battle for now. Ohio State starting on its own 14, and so far the defensive coordinators, Mark D'Antonio from Ohio State and Jim Herman from Michigan, are having all the fun, Jim.
Well, I think everybody's having fun because right now the chess game is going on up here in the press box, Frank. The offenses are looking at what the defenses did to them in that first series, and they're looking at different options and different formations where they can get a matchup that they want. And that's the beauty of this game. You're using great players and good, solid coaches, and they're trying to figure out ways to move the ball and figure out ways to stop the other guy.
Ohio State, 3 wideouts. Liddell Ross, the only setback. Play action fake. Krenzel rolling right to throw. He's going to fire on the move. Caught by Jenkins over the 25. Drilled by Diggs and LeSueur. Down he goes with a first down. A gain of 14 up to the 28. Well, they've got to respect the legs of Craig Krenzel as well as the arm, Jim.
Well, that's where Krenzel is at his most dangerous. He gives the fake on the run and then rolls right. They like Krenzel on the run because it gives him the run-pass option. He will hurt you a lot with the running. Last year in the national championship game, he was the leading rusher for Ohio State against Miami.
He was the star of that game, no question. A man studying molecular genetics who wants to go to medical school. Here's Ross running left. Oh, he's drilled in the backfield by Pierre Woods, who fought off a block on that left side by Alex Stepanovich and absolutely drilled Ross, who is down and not getting up. Well, we saw a Michigan player, Jason Avant, hurt on the Wolverines' first series, and now Ross is down for Ohio State. Ohio State's other tailback who gets a lot of action, Maurice Hall, the fellow who scored the winning touchdown against Michigan last year, remember, has been banged up and was a question mark coming into this game. And right now they have Brandon Joe, the fullback, out there on 2nd and 11 on their own 27. Now keep this in mind. When Joe is in the game, Krenzel runs more often when Joe is the only back, like he is now in the shotgun.
And they will go shotgun, and they call timeout now. But you can see a quarterback draw out of the shotgun. You can see a draw to Brandon Joe. And using Krenzel's legs, it's a key for Ohio State to try to get yardage with his legs.
Ohio State was shifting around with the 4 wideouts, had only 4 seconds on the play clock. That's why they had to call time. So timeout on the field. No score. Michigan and Ohio State. 9:26 left in the first quarter at the Big House. You're listening to Michigan football. Elaine Kashima, who has not seen action the last 3 games, is out there. He's the senior defensive end from up Montreal way, and he's in the ball game now as Ohio State faces 2nd and 11 on its own 27. Kashima up front with Woods, Bowman, Larry Stevens, Jackson, Reed, McClintock in the game, LeSueur, Behringer, Shazor, and Curry, 5 defensive backs. 4 wide for the Buckeyes out of the gun. Here's Krenzel firing short left, and he's got a man wide open. Santonio Holmes up the sideline for a first down up to the 40, the 41-yard line. Well, Michigan went to a zone look right there. They blitzed Marlon Jackson, didn't they, Jim?
Yes, they did. Brought him off the edge. But the wide side of the field they had covered. But the short side, Holmes just ran to the sideline and stopped. Michigan zone backed up, and that gave some room for Krenzel to sneak that ball in.
So Krenzel has thrown for 34 yards in the early going. Ohio State moving quickly out to the 41 after being pinned back on the 14. They've got a first down. Paul is the only setback. It's an end around. Hand off to Childress. He eluded Massey. He eludes 2 other Wolverines and spins his way up to the 47-yard line for a gain of 6 before he's finally hauled down by Larry Stevens.
I'm sure Jim Herman not happy about that they got some missed tackles. There were 3 of them on that play. And Marlon Jackson's going to come out of the ball game.
Marlon, who had what Lloyd Carr called his best week of practice after returning to the lineup last week against Northwestern. Willis Behringer replaces him. Running play. Here's Hall to the right. He's pinned in the backfield because of the penetration of Carl Diggs, who beat the block of Mangold, the center, and that set up the tackle in the backfield by Hoyer and by Bowman and company. It's a loss on the play of a foot or so, and it'll be 3rd down for the Buckeyes.
The one key here when you get Ohio State in 3rd and long is Krenzel's the X factor. We talked about his feet. When Michigan has a blitz, if they come with a blitz in this situation, somebody has to spy Krenzel, or he will scramble and hurt you.
3rd down and 7, call it at the Ohio State 44. They'll go 4 wideouts again. Michigan with 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 defensive backs in there. Showing 5 at the line, showing blitz. Now they back out, go to a zone. Krenzel rolling right to throw, being chased by Woods, flips it up the sideline, incomplete. Intended for Holmes, but he was throwing that one away. Everybody was covered downfield, and Ohio State will have to punt.
You saw a changeup. Michigan went with a 3-man rush. Elaine Kashima came around the right defensive end and was able to chase Krenzel out of the pocket. But earlier they had blitzed, and Krenzel found the open Santonio Holmes. This time, the 6-man defensive backfield shuts Ohio State down.
Steve Breaston, who's among the national leaders in punt returns, averaging almost 15 a run back, awaits the kick by Sander. A booming high spiral. Breaston back, grabs it on the 7. He cannot elude the first man down, and he'll be hit at the 10-yard line and tackled right there. It was the corner, Chris Gamble, who got down in a hurry and would not let Breaston get away. They're going to mark him at the 11. A 4-yard run back after a terrific 49-yard punt by B.J. Sander. And this is Ohio State's game, pinning you back deep. Michigan back on its own 11. Carl Tabb in the lineup. Jason Aband, who sprained an ankle on the first possession, sitting on the bench. Offset eye, power to the left. Tight end Minery's short side right. There goes Edwards in motion that way. He stops, comes back. And a little delay. Here comes Perry up the middle. Hit from behind. Breaks the tackle. Up to the 15. He gets to the 18 or 19-yard line. Dropped by Will Allen and Nate Sally, the 2 tackles. Good run by Chris Perry. 8 yards out of trouble in that backfield.
A little bit of a delayed draw there as Navarre goes back. And Perry makes a great cut just as soon as he gets the ball, because there was some big pressure, penetration from Ohio State's defensive front. Perry made a miss, got 8 out of the play.
Now, earlier this year, we talked about Michigan State's run defense, Jim, and if you took the sack yardage out, they gave up 4 yards a carry. That's not true with Ohio State. They're number 1 in the nation in run defense, giving only 51 yards a game. 2nd and 2 on the 19. Here comes Perry out of the eye, up the middle, puts a shoulder down into the linebacker Reynolds, and I think he's got a first down if they mark his progress to the 22. They do. That's a 3-yard pickup, and the Wolverines move the chains. First down, Michigan on the 22-yard line. That's their 2nd first down of the ball game, and Chris Perry has 19 yards in 4 carries.
And one of the keys of Ohio State, I don't think you can get wide on this defense, but you can run right at him, which Michigan has done. Look at this set. They've got Breaston in the backfield with Perry.
Perry's the tailback. Breaston standing right next to him, goes in motion out to the right. So that's 3 wideouts for Navarre dropping to throw. Big blitz, screen to Perry left. 3 blockers in front, 25 to the 30. And he's wrapped up by Dustin Fox and spun down up around the 33. Perfect play call for that big blitz. That's an 11-yard gain and another first down.
And Terry Malone is playing the chess game with Ohio State. I told you at the top of the show, Ohio State's a very aggressive defense. They pick their spots to get negative plays. They run the blitz on first down, and Michigan calls the screen. Great play against it on first down, and they get the big first down on a pass to Chris Perry.
So the Wolverines were pinned at the 11. They're now out at the 33. They've got Braylon Edwards wide side right, and now Therese Butler going in motion that way. Tab to the left, and here's a pass by Navarre, deflected at the line, incomplete. He went back a quick 3 steps, and it was Simon Frazier, the 6'6" defensive end, who jumped up and deflected that ball, which was intended for Therese Butler out in the right flat. So it's incomplete. 2nd and 10 coming up.
The question now becomes Ohio State's blitz package. Terry Malone has got to play chess with Mark D'Antonio of Ohio State, and what he's going to show him, and Michigan gets the calls right. They guess right against the aggressive Ohio State defense.
2nd and 10 on the 33. Perry's the only back. Navarre to throw. Screen left to Perry again. Upfield 35 to the 40 as he dodges tacklers. And he's close to another first down. Let's see where they mark him out. It's right on the Michigan sideline at the bench. They're going to put the ball over the 43, and that's another first down. And Chris Perry comes out hobbling.
2 screen passes, and I'll tell you, Frank, both of them, did you notice, go to the boundary or the short side of the field. Great block by Stenovich out in front that clears the way for Chris Perry to get that first down.
It's an 11-yard pickup. Perry replaced by David Underwood. Edwards is out to the right. Gamble's got him bump and run out there. There goes Tab in motion to the wide side. Navarre play action fake, dropping the throw, going deep on a post. Braylon Edwards has got Gamble beaten. The ball is just off his outstretched hand down at the 10-yard line. It was close. They were running step for step with one another. Gamble, number 7 of the Buckeyes. Braylon Edwards, number 1 of Michigan. And Gamble fell down on that play, and he's shaking up a little bit. He's coming back holding that left arm a little gingerly.
Yeah. On first down, though, Michigan shows Ohio State a little bit of a commercial just to back them up. We will go deep. We are not going to dink and dunk, but we will pick our spots. And Ohio State now defensively has to be aware that Michigan will take their shots downfield.
Now 4 wideouts for the Wolverines. Bell and Edwards to the wide side right. Tab and Breston to the left, and now Breston to the wide side right. They'll flood the field. Here's Navarre to throw, looking out in the flat. He flips it, caught by Breston. Upfield he goes for the 50, trying to dodge his way around Gamble. He does. He broke a tackle inside the Ohio State 45 and out of bounds at the 44, and that's a first down. Boy, he dodged Will Allen, the safety, then got away from Gamble, and finally it was a nickelback Tyler Everett and the outside linebacker Robert Reynolds, who knocked him out of bounds. Stevie Preston showing that elusiveness right there for a gain of 12 and a first down.
Now the key is he's able to get that great burst of speed to get him outside the linebacker. And isn't it interesting? The play after Michigan goes deep, they hit him underneath, and Preston makes a play with his feet.
Now Jerome Jackson in a tailback, in the eye, running behind Dudley, the fullback. And they're going to run him right up the middle. Jackson puts his shoulder down and gets a couple of yards down to the 42. It's going to be tough sledding in there running the ball on this Ohio State team. A.J. Hawk and Fred Puggich, the 2 linebackers, on the stop for the Buckeyes. They're stout defensively.
They are, no question. Again, the strength of this defense, that front 7, their linebackers are good. That defensive line is very good.
So Chris Perry out of the lineup, shaken up just a few moments ago. Jason Avant twisted an ankle. He's on the sideline. David Underwood is in at tailback for the Wolverines. He's the single setback. Tyler Ecker is the tight end. You got 3 wideouts, including Braylon Edwards coming in motion left. Tab to the right. Breston left, Navarre to throw. Looking left flat. Fires to Breston. Got it. Hit immediately at the line of scrimmage. Knocked back by Will Allen, the strong safety. Will Allen, the man who had that interception that ended the ball game last year down at Columbus. The goal line interception against John Navarre. A sure tackle right there, and it's going to be 3rd and 8 for Michigan at the Buckeye 42 with no score and 4:40 to go in the first quarter at the Big House.
A little bit of a change in strategy since Chris Perry got nicked up and he's been out of there. Michigan's just run it once, and that was with a freshman, Jerome Jackson.
Now they got Underwood, the lone setback. Tab and Breston to the right, and now Edwards in motion that way. That's the wide side of the field, and Navarre dropping to throw. 4-man rush. He's got time. Down the middle, caught by Edwards. Turns upfield, fights inside the 35. He's got a first down. Will Allen held on for dear life, but couldn't stop Braylon Edwards. They knocked his helmet off, but Braylon's momentum got him down to the 33. 9 yards, and Michigan has a first down in Buckeye territory.
Key guy in that pass protection play was Underwood. There was a man coming free underneath. Underwood got a piece of him. Braylon then went downfield, sat down in a zone between the 2 linebackers. Navarre got him the ball. Braylon turned upfield with a big body that he's got and was able to run for the first down.
10 plays on this drive for the Wolverines now. They started on their own 11. Here's an end around. Braylon Edwards around the right side. Gets a block from Minery. Turns upfield to the 30. Ooh, is he hit hard and knocked out of bounds by Nate Sally into the Michigan marching band section. But it's going to be a gain of about 7 yards on the play for Braylon. And he comes out with his helmet in his hand again. He's got to get a better chin strap, Jim.
Something's got to happen, because I'm telling you, this ain't no place for a nervous person, as Mickey Redmond might say.
Downstairs we go to Steve Courtney.
Chris Perry about ready to come back in, boys. They've been working on his right hamstring. He's been stretching it out. They wrapped it. His return is inevitable.
Jerome Jackson in there at tailback right now. The ball officially on the 25. 8-yard gain by Edwards on the end around, 2nd and 2. And here comes Jackson right up the middle. He plows ahead fighting behind Matt Lentz, who shoves the pile forward for Jackson to get a first down inside the Buckeye 20 at the 19, and they're just running right at him. This is good old-fashioned put the blade down and let's play some hardball.
Absolutely, and it's that offensive line that's got to do it. If you're going to get it done between the tackles, it's the offensive line and the fullback. That time Dudley with a great lead block, and give credit to that young freshman Jackson. He is running hard.
Jerome Jackson at 5'11", 200 pounds out of Saginaw High School. Now Pierre Rembert out of John Navarre's old high school in Cudahy, Wisconsin. Rembert the tailback. He's the only setback. Here's Edwards in motion. Here's Navarre to throw. Setting up, firing, outcut. Edwards has it right side. Gamble grabs him, misses the tackle, but got him to step out of bounds at the 11. It's a gain of about 8.
The pass pattern again, the chess match continues. What Ohio State's doing is clogging the middle. So that time, Braylon Edwards runs in motion and fakes like he's going to go on that crossing route, then stops and breaks back toward the sideline. That puts Gamble in a position where he's fighting inside, and when Edwards broke outside, he got the open space, and John Navarre hit him.
No score, Michigan threatening. 2nd and 2 at the Buckeye 11. Chris Perry back in the ball game. He's running in the I formation, gets the handoff behind Dudley, right side. He tries to angle right, gets to the 10, and he's wrestled to the ground right there by Dustin Fox, the corner. Let's see where they put him down. They're going to rule his knee hit at the 10. It'll be a 1-yard gain and set up 3rd and 1 for the Wolverines down at the 10-yard line. One of the big improvements this year for Michigan has been red zone play. They're number 1 in the Big Ten this year in red zone scoring. Last year, Jim, they were 9th in the league. They scored less than 75% of the time in the red zone. This year, they're 93% number 1 in the league.
They made it an effort in the spring and early fall to get their red zone offense better.
All right, here we go. 3rd down and 1. The Buckeyes show 6 men up front. Handoff to Perry, right up the middle. First down and goal to go. Chris Perry down to the 6-yard line. Sally and Allen, the 2 safeties, were the first men to hit him. They might mark him at the 5, and they do.
That's just right between Dave Pearson and Matt Lentz and Tony Pate. That is just one back. The offensive line's going to get it done, and we're going to knock you off the ball. Chris Perry had the first down easily, gain of 3.
We're going to call it the 6-yard line. The tail of the ball's touching the 6. Ball on the right hash. Out to the left, you got Calvin Bell. Massaquoi and Minery both in there at tight end. Offset eye power right in the backfield for Perry and Dudley. Here's Perry, and he runs into a wall of white jerseys at the 5. Tim Anderson and Darian Scott, the 2 tackles, brought him down. Well, looks like they're going to spot this at the 4. It'll be a gain of 2. 1:45 to go in the first quarter. It's scoreless, Michigan at Ohio State, but the Wolverines have a 16-play drive going right now. They've had the ball over 6 minutes on this drive, from their own 11 down to the Buckeyes' 4.
And already they've gotten more yards, almost as many yards on the ground as Ohio State has given up in a game.
42 so far. The Buckeyes allow 50.5. 2 tight ends, a balanced line. Offset eye power left in the backfield for Dudley and Perry, and here comes Perry again. Angles to the right to a little seam down close to the 2. It gets so tough in there. Ohio State has Quinn Pitcock. They're in that goal line look defensively. Dustin Fox came up to make the play. It'll be 3rd and goal, and spot the ball on the Ohio State 2.5-yard line.
Michigan now brings in some wide receivers, going to spread Ohio State out a little bit.
Officially, this will be called the 3-yard line. 3rd and goal. Edwards will go short side right. Out to the left, Navarre. They've got Stevie Preston under center, and he's going to run option right. He's going to keep it, and Stevie Preston is in. Touchdown, Michigan. Oh, how do you like that? Terry Malone comes up with a bit of genius. He runs an option play that no one has seen Michigan run all year, and it gives the Wolverines the lead in the final minute of the first quarter of the game.
Last week, we saw Preston play quarterback 1 snap. He ran a quarterback draw. But this time, and the key is Navarre doesn't come out of the game. They set him up and they run option, and Preston, a quarterback in high school, does the rest.
And he was an option quarterback, remember, in high school. Garrett Rivas extra point try in the air. It is good. Michigan goes 89 yards in a remarkable 18 plays. And with 39 seconds to go in the first quarter, Michigan 7, Ohio State nothing. From Host Communications, you're listening to the Michigan Sports Network. The Halls are back deep. Maurice Hall, the running back, and Roy Hall, a redshirt freshman wide receiver, a great athlete. They're back deep for Ohio State. Maurice on the far side, Roy on the near side. Troy Nienberg to kick it away. 39 seconds left first quarter, 7-0 Michigan. Nienberg's kick, high, end over end and deep. Maurice Hall from the 1, left side. Up the numbers to the 15, to the 20, out to the 25, and that's where he's going down. He fell forward maybe to the 27. It was Jerome Jackson who was in on the tackle for the Wolverines. So Ohio State back on offense now. Today's game brought to you in part by the mortgage experts at Rock Financial. 34 seconds left first quarter.
Thinking about that drive, too. Chris Perry, for the most part, was not in there. Think about the depth Michigan has out there. You saw Rembert, you saw Underwood, and you saw Jerome Jackson. All of them very competent and doing a job, and a great job of pass pro by Underwood on that one throw to Edwards.
Liddell Ross, who was injured earlier, back in at tailback for Michigan. Jeremy Van Alstine checks in at defensive end now. Here's a play-action fake. Krenzel to throw. Wants to go deep down the middle. He does, and he overthrows Jenkins, who was open. There was a mix-up in the coverage. Jeremy LeSueur turned around and looked like he was trying to hand it off to Ernest Shazor, wasn't he?
He was. Shazor, I think, in that play thought he had deep outside, and he thought he was getting help from the inside from Marlon Jackson. But basically, it was the opposite. LeSueur had deep outside. He handed off the deep middle to Shazor, but Krenzel overthrew the open Jenkins.
So Michigan dodges a bullet right there. 2nd down and 10, Ohio State. The only setback now is Brandon Joe, the fullback. They're going to hand it to him. Up the middle to the 30, up to the 35-yard line. 8 yards for Brandon Joe on only his 13th carry of the year. The big fullback, the junior out of Westerville, and he was hauled down by Larry Stevens. That's the element of surprise right there, isn't it?
You don't think your fullback is going to get the ball on a straight dive, but Ohio State, remember, they're a pretty good football team, folks. I mean, it's not like these guys are a bunch of pikers out here.
Yeah, they've only got one loss this year. They're the defending national champions. But after one quarter in the Big House in the game, they trail Michigan 7-0. The teams will change ends. Ohio State will have its back to the south end. Michigan will defend the north. When we come back in a moment, 7-0 Michigan after one period. You're listening to Michigan football. Now let's see what the Buckeyes come up with. Krenzel huddles them up inside the 30, breaks them out, splits Jenkins to the wide side of the field right.
And this is where the scrambler in Krenzel is dangerous.
They've got 3 tight ends in the ball game. The single setback Joe. And Krenzel's going to hand it to Joe, and he's going to be stacked up around the line, and he's not going to get the first down. He was hit first in there by Carl Diggs, who shot through the gap. And it's going to be 4th down and about 1.5 yards to go for the Buckeyes. Call it 4th and 2. The ball's being placed right on the 35. B.J. Sander will come out with a punt team, and Michigan's got to watch for anything funny, although you got to believe Jim Tressel will be punting here, Jim. Don't you? 35-yard line.
Yeah, he's got to punt the ball.
Breston is deep. Here's the kick. It's a high wobbly spiral. Breston waves fair catch and grabs it on his knees at the 26. Oh my, he was almost distracted by his own teammate Jeremy LeSueur racing by. But Breston stayed with it and made the grab, and Michigan dodges any kind of trouble right there.
Well, the key to that is the hang time that Sander has.
Oh, this kid can punt.
Oh, he can. And that ball was coming down again. Tail first, and that ball will actually go away from a punt receiver or head more upfield. And Breston almost did run in to Jeremy LeSueur. Great concentration to hold that ball in there.
Sander, a 5th-year senior out of Cincinnati, and I don't know what it is, but the Buckeyes always seem to have one of the best punters in the country, Jim. You can go back to Tom Tupa and wherever you want to go.
They're not bad on place kickers either.
No, that's true. 1st down, Michigan. Perry is in there in the I formation. A little delay up the middle, over the 30. Oh, he's just tripped up with open field in front of him. Chris Perry falls forward at the 36. He nearly went all the way. It was Nate Sally who saved a touchdown. What a great open field tackle.
And a great lead block again on the lead draw by the fullback, Kevin Dudley. Wow, I tell you, these fullbacks are doing a great job. They've done it all year, but Dudley that time got a block on the linebacker, sprung Perry out for the first down. Now, Brian Thompson in the game.
Michigan with 56 yards rushing. That's 5 more than Ohio State allows per game this year. Perry in the eye play action fake. Look out, they're blitzing off the corner. Navarre eludes it, throws down the middle. The ball's tipped once, twice, and falls incomplete. A.J. Hawk tipped it first, the linebacker, and then Dustin Fox almost got the interception after the blitz by the linebacker Bobby Carpenter.
Great job by John Navarre of avoiding that blitz. Saw it come in there, and John was able to avoid it. That's the gambling style, the aggressive style of Ohio State. This is a first down blitz, Frank. And John Navarre had an open receiver, but again, because of the blitz, couldn't really set his feet, threw it a little bit low.
So it's 2nd down and 10, Michigan on the 36. They've got 3 wideouts now. Tab to the left along with Edwards, who comes in motion right. Breston also set right. Back goes John Navarre to throw. Setting up, goes down the middle. Edwards on a crossing route at the 50. Breaks the tackle, he's on his way. 40, 30, Braylon Edwards is gone. 10, 5, touchdown Michigan. 64 yards. John Navarre to Braylon Edwards, and it's 13-0. 13 touchdown catches for Braylon Edwards this year, and that is his longest play of the season.
When Ohio State blitzes, you live by the blitz, you die by the blitz. Michigan picked it up. Edwards got open, he had to break 1 tackle, and then he's gone because the secondary was short because they blitzed in there, and Braylon made him pay.
Rivas extra point is right down State Street. 13:33 left in the first half. Michigan 14. Ohio State nothing after 74 yards in 3 plays. And from Host Communications, you're listening to the Michigan Sports Network. And now John Navarre with a quick 74-yard drive in 3 plays. Braylon Edwards going 64 yards on the catch and run, breaking tackles by both safeties, Allen and Sally, on his way to the touchdown. We go downstairs to Steve Courtney.
Kind of a neat deal, fellas. After Braylon Edwards scores that long touchdown for the Wolverines, makes a beeline over to Jason Avant, who is, as you might expect, a little bit bummed out that he's out of this game. By the way, Jason has an ice pack on that left ankle. I'm told his return is still questionable, so kind of a neat deal down here.
What a nice touch by Braylon Edwards.
Well, they're playing for each other right now, and that's a great deal.
Here's the kick by Nienberg. High and end over end. Maurice Hall will grab this one at the 1, left side. Up to the 10, hemmed in at the 15, and Prescott Burgess, the freshman, nails him at the 18. 14-0 Michigan, and Ohio State getting a taste of its own medicine, starting back inside its own 20-yard line.
Almost at the 18-yard line. 6-10 for Ohio State.
Well, that touchdown pass to Braylon Edwards is 64 yards, the longest of Braylon's career and the longest of John Navarre's Michigan career. Now from the shotgun, Krenzel hands the ball off to Liddell Ross going to the right, and there's no place to run. There was penetration in there by Carl Diggs. Lawrence Reed came up from linebacker. Pierre Woods was in there, and Ross got maybe a yard on the play.
And this is where Michigan wants Ohio State. You want them down, and Michigan's got them with their offense down 2 scores. And Ohio State is a team that offensively has struggled a little bit. They're not a great big play team. And this is going to take them out of their game plan if Michigan can put any more on the board.
2 tight ends. Krenzel's going looking on a curl, caught on the right side by Holmes, tries to spin outside. LeSueur wraps him up, but Santonio Holmes with a first down to the 30-yard line. So the Buckeyes move the chains on the arm of Craig Krenzel. Krenzel, who's missed a couple of games this year. He had elbow problems, then he had a concussion, but this is one tough, cool customer, a great leader, and a winner. And a 14-0 lead is not insurmountable for Ohio State, no matter what you've heard about their offensive problems.
It isn't insurmountable, but you're on the edges of getting them into a throwing game, which they'd prefer not to do.
First down, a fake to Ross. Krenzel to throw, looking down the middle. Everybody covered. He rolls right. He's going to take off, and he runs out of bounds up around the 38. 8 yards for Krenzel on the scramble, and that's where he's dangerous, too. This year, he has gained now 335 yards rushing.
And you go back again to the chess match involved here, Frank. Does Jim Herman now, with the 14-point lead and Ohio State going back to throw, roll the dice and come with some blitzes of his own to try to create some negative plays for this Ohio State offense?
Running play, it's Brandon Joe, the fullback, on 2nd down and 2, fighting forward. He's just shy of the 40-yard line, and so just shy of a first down. It'll be 3rd down, and we'll call it a short yard to go for the Buckeyes. Brandon Joe, who had only 1 running attempt last year, had only 12 on the season coming in, has carried it 3 times today. They might get it again right here, Jim, on 3rd and short. 14-0 Michigan. We played less than 4 minutes of the second quarter. Jenkins, the only wideout, he's to the left. I formation for Ross and Joe, and the handoff goes to Joe, and he tumbles forward for a first down between his center Mangold and his right guard Stepanovich. First down, Ohio State at the 42. That'll be the 4th first down for the Buckeyes. John DeVar also with that touchdown pass, Jim. He continues to lead the Big Ten in that category. That was number 22 on the season. What a year he's had. Finalist for the Davey O'Brien Award, for the Unitas Award. Chris Perry, and now a finalist for the Doak Walker Award. Single setback for Ohio State. It's a play-action fake. Krenzel's going to throw. He flips it to Santonio Holmes, who's open on a crossing route, but he threw it 3 yards over his head, incomplete. Holmes came all the way across the field from the far side. He was a couple of steps in front of Jeremy LeSueur, but Jim, did you think Krenzel just threw it late?
He threw it late, and he overthrew it. And I think Krenzel's problem was with the long ball. We saw him overthrow Jenkins earlier with Jenkins open over the middle. Here we've seen Holmes open behind Jeremy LeSueur on a crossing route. He just doesn't have that touch pass to drop in there. But if you're Jim Tressel, you're saying, you know what? We're having great protection here for Krenzel, so we're going to go back and throw it a little bit more.
2nd and 10 on the 42. Krenzel to throw. Flipping it in the left flat. Caught by Ross. He's got some room. He's up over the 45 to the 50. He danced away from McClintock and is finally dragged down by Behringer out there at the 50-yard stripe. That'll be a gain of 8. Set up 3rd down and short. 3rd and about 2 to go for the Buckeyes. Michigan had Larry Harrison in there a moment ago. He came out on that last play. Now he's back in that defensive front, along with Grant Bowman, Larry Stevens, and Jeremy Van Alstine. And they've also got Pierre Woods out there with Reed and Carl Diggs.
Ohio State looks like they're going to spread Michigan out a little bit. Bam Childress comes in. They go 3 wide. The
only setback is Liddell Ross. Krenzel is going to run a little keeper on the right side, and he's going nowhere. That was almost an option play, with the only option being whether he was going to go between guard and tackle or guard and center.
Ohio State got mixed up and ran an uneven line where Adrian Clark came over and played the right tight end, and he's a guard. And I think Ohio State just had miscommunication because Clark was out of position.
And Larry Harrison absolutely stuffed the play for no gain. It's 4th down, 2 to go at midfield. B.J. Sander to punt. They almost got through. His kick is another beauty. High spiral, hits at the 5. Breston dodges him coming over to the right, lets it sail into the end zone for a touchback, and Michigan will start on the 20. Well, B.J. Sander, coming into the game, has had 66 punts this year, and incredibly, exactly half of them have pinned the opponent inside the 20-yard line. Not this time, though. It's a touchback. 14-0 Michigan. The Wolverines have the ball back with 9:38 to go in the half. We've got timeout on the field. You're listening to Michigan football. 14-0 Michigan, 9:38 to go in the half. Michigan ball on its own 20, 1st and 10. You talk about rubbing elbows with greatness. How about Steve Courtney downstairs with the Yankees? Derek Jeter, Michigan's own.
Oh, Franklin, a who's who. Derek interesting story with you and the University of Michigan. You actually commit to Michigan, and then you go to pursue some world championships with the Yankees. You're still a Michigan supporter.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. I'm a big fan. So I was able to take classes here for a semester, but I'm not really on a good pace to graduate here.
Good news for you. No off-season surgery, Derek.
Well, yeah, that's the good news. So, you just take a little time to try to heal up.
Chris Perry on a draw, bouncing outside left, up the sideline to the 30. He's shoved out of bounds up near the 35. A flag is thrown late. Let's see what that one's all about. Steve, you got more with Derek there while we sort this out?
Gonna let Derek get back to the ballgame. Derek, thanks for your time.
All right, no problem.
And Chris Perry is hobbling again, grabbing that hamstring as he comes back onto the field. The call is holding on Michigan.
Tim Massaquoi out in front of Chris Perry, and he's holding that hamstring indeed, but it looked like Massaquoi is the guy that got the holding call.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat first down.
And now the question is, where did the holding occur? It occurred upfield at the 32. They moved the ball back to the 22, and so it's going to be first down and 8 to go. That's one of those unusual deals in college football with the rules.
Spot foul there where the holding came downfield, and where the flag is thrown is where the ball is marked off from.
Breston will check into the game. He'll go to the left along with Bell and Braylon Edwards. Out to the right, Carl Tabb, and now Edwards in motion right. First and 8, Navarre to throw. Setting up, good protection. He fires, crossing route to Breston. Got it, puts on the brakes at the 25, dodges 2 men, up over the 30 to the 32 for a first down, 10 yards, and Steve Breston with those good shoes, Jim. They got some traction in them, don't they?
They sure do, because he stops on a dime and lets the Ohio State defenders run by him. Great protection, though, again, for John Navarre. They allowed Breston, who lined up split left, to come underneath all the linebackers, get separation, and he winds up over toward the right hash and is able to make a play for a first down.
Navarre, 10 out of 15, 138 yards and a touchdown. Single setback for the Wolverines now. They split 3 receivers, and they hand the ball to Rembert, and Rembert coming right up the middle again. That's where Michigan's been plying its trade on the ground for 3 yards by Rembert to the 35. 2nd and 7 coming up.
Well, they're really attacking the 2 interior guys, and those are 2 pretty good players, and Darian Scott and Tim Anderson. And the linebacker, Pugic. And they're doing pretty well with it, especially the lead draw has been the best running play to break out of there.
Well, John Cooper said earlier this week there's not one Michigan lineman who can handle Will Smith. Well, so far there's not been one, there's been 5. Navarre to throw. He fires. Will Smith bats it in the air. Navarre comes over and knocks it down. Well, we spoke a little too soon. There's also a flag down over where Gamble was wrestling with Therese Butler, the wide receiver. And Gamble was questioning the official who threw the flag. And I got to believe, Jim, this is going to go against Ohio State. And it's likely a personal foul. And it is.
Oh, man.
What a big mistake by Chris Gamble.
Big mistake by Gamble.
Who last year, of course, played both ways. This year he's not played much on offense.
After the play was over, dead ball. Personal foul, late hit on a defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic. First down.
And so the man in the sweater vest, Jim Tressel, calls Gamble over to stand next to him for a while, and he's replaced by freshman Ashton Ubodi. Well, what happened was Butler dove down and chopped Gamble on a block, and then Gamble punched him while he was on the ground. And that's what the officials saw. Later on, we'll name the AT&T Wireless Player of the Game. Navarre to throw, first down from midfield. Feeling some heat, going to go deep for Braylon Edwards, right sideline. Adjusting for the ball, he goes up. Oh, it bounced off his shoulder pad, incomplete. He had beaten Gamble's replacement, Ashton Ubodi, downfield, but could not hold it. Now, there is a flag down as well in the Michigan backfield, and the indication is this is holding on the Wolverines. So even if he had caught it, it wouldn't have mattered.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty at the previous spot. Go first down.
So that should move the ball back to the 40-yard line, and it does.
Holding penalty. Takes the ball back to the 40-yard line.
First down and 20 for the Wolverines, who have racked up over 200 yards in the game so far. We've still got 8:14 to go in the half. Michigan leads 14-0. They have 209 yards to 78 for Ohio State. but a long way to go with 8:14 to play in the half.
Again, they line up Smith on Stenovich. They move him over to the right side. They'll move him around, and they think the matchup with Stenovich is going to benefit Ohio State.
Two tight ends, short side right, and they're going to run that way. And here comes Perry turning the corner. He's grabbed by the jersey, keeps fighting forward, and he'll get up to about the 43 or 4. So they ran away from Will Smith to the short side of the field, and some tempers flare over there. Perry having words with Darian Scott after the play. Scott, the defensive lineman. It'll be second down for the Wolverines, and let's wait for them to spot the ball. 3-yard pickup for Perry, so second down and 17 at the 43. Into the ball game comes Tyler Everett. He is the nickelback. Fred Puggich Jr., the middle linebacker, checks out. His dad played at Ohio State, spent 19 years as an assistant there, and is now with the Raiders. Pierre Rembert is in at tailback. Tyler Eckers, the tight end. 3 wide receivers. Tab short side right, Breston slot left, and Edwards wide left. And Navarre back to throw. Setting up in the hole with time. Fires down the middle. Tab reaches up, makes a fine grab on a slant at the Ohio State 40. It's knocked down right there by Yabodi. They're going to mark it at the 39 for a first down for Michigan, a gain of 18. What a throw by Navarre. Good grab by Carl Tab from Ann Arbor Huron High School.
What they're doing is they're running these little dig routes into the middle. But Tab fakes the corner and then stops the route. He doesn't run it into the safeties. Ohio State safeties are very good, and it's almost a hook, but they keep the cornerback on their back, and Navarre throws it to him beautifully.
And with Gamble out of the game because of that personal foul, Michigan's going right after his replacement, Yabodi. Navarre back to throw. He's looking deep. He fires near side for Tab. He's knocked down by Dustin Fox. Flags fly from everywhere. Dustin Fox, who had 3 penalties called on him last week against Purdue, was picked on unmercifully by the Wolverines in the game last year when Navarre threw for over 240 yards. He'll get pass interference called on him here, and that'll give Michigan a first down at the 24-yard line.
On defense, 15-yard penalty for the previous spot. Automatic. First down.
Dustin Fox originally was going to play safety this year. They thought that he wasn't the best corner, and so they were going to try to get another corner in there, but they couldn't do it. So Fox has to stay at corner. He's still, with Gamble in there, he's probably not the top 2, and Michigan has picked on him.
First down at the Ohio State 24. I formation. Perry on a delay. Bouncing left, and he's wrapped up by the safety, Will Allen. Good, sure-handed tackle at the 23 after a 1-yard gain.
That's the lead draw, Frank, and Will Allen is now where? At the line of scrimmage, because Michigan has hurt them with it, okay? That means that you got run action. If that safety bites, the middle of the field should be open going over the top. They have pulled the safeties up with their running game.
And now you see Bell and Therese Butler and Dudley checking out of the lineup. Massacoy is in at tight end. Tab will split to the left. Minery over on the right with Braylon Edwards. Nobody in the backfield. Ohio State's got 9 men at the line. Navarre to throw. They pick up the blitz. He fires out, cut left sideline. Good effort by Edwards, but he couldn't pull it in with one hand down at the 4. Gamble back in the game for Ohio State on the corner, was late in coverage, and Navarre just couldn't quite connect, and it'll bring up third down and 9 to go from the Buckeye 23.
Well, the key on that throw with John is you've got to put that ball wide to the sideline, because that ball, if it's thrown inside, Frank, you've got a cornerback in Gamble who can come up and make a play. You've got to put it to the wide side of the field, almost on the sideline, to let your guy be the only guy to catch it.
Michigan is 4 out of 5 in third down conversions. They've got 3rd and 9 right here on the 23 of the Buckeyes. 3 wideouts. Perry the only setback. Navarre to throw. Has time against the blitz. Firing on a post. Edwards. He's got it. Touchdown, Michigan. A record tire for John Navarre. 23 yards out for the score, and it's 20-0.
And Chris Perry picks up the blitz of the outside man, gives Navarre time. Michigan's backs, not only are they running it, but they're protecting. That was a beautiful throw and a great catch by a leaping Braylon Edwards. But it doesn't get off if Chris Perry doesn't make the block on the blitzer.
71 career touchdown passes for John Navarre, tying Elvis Gerbach's school record. The extra point try by Rivas is perfect. And with 5:49 to go in the first half, Michigan 21, Ohio State nothing.
Frank, a great scene. Jason Avant, now going off the field on the cart, is exhorting the crowd on, pumping his fists in the air to get this crowd up on its feet as he goes off to the locker room with that left ankle heavily taped.
Yeah, we're going to take time out right here. Jason Avant's got the whole house rocking. 5:49 to go in the half. 21-0 Michigan from Host Communications. You're listening to the Michigan Sports Network. Michigan just went 80 yards in 8 plays. Post-game show, we'll pick the local Chrysler and Jeep dealers' drive of the game. And take your pick. Here's the kick again toward Maurice Hall, near side. This time a yard deep in the end zone. He'll come out. Got a hole, but it closes up in a hurry at the 19-yard line with Pierre Rembert. There was a huge seam there, Jim, and Rembert just raced in from outside to close it. Jim, the last 3 possessions for Michigan. 89 yards in 18 plays, 74 yards in 3 plays, 80 yards in 8 plays. They've scored on 3 straight possessions.
And they put up 254 yards of total offense. That is remarkable against a team that is living on its defense, and Michigan is taking it right to them.
Craig Krenzel lining up in the shotgun. Michigan with a 4-man front. Krenzel to throw. He's looking right side. He fires it to Childress in the flat. He dodges Pierre Woods. Cuts upfield to the 30. Shazor comes up to tackle him at the 31. First down, Buckeyes, a gain of 12.
And if you think about this game plan and what Michigan has done, is they're really right now being fairly conservative because they think that defensively, Michigan can handle Ohio State, and the fact that they're going to have a difficult time going a full 80 yards. So they just don't want to give them an easy one, the big play. So they're backing out of there, playing a lot of zone and rushing only 4.
You got Stevens up front with Van Alstyne and Bowman and Massey, and Krenzel flips it right flat, and that's caught out there by the backup tight end Hamby. He'll get 3 or 4 yards near the 35. He is knocked down by Jeremy LeSueur and Carl Diggs. Second down coming up for Ohio State. Clock running. 5:05 remaining in the half. 21-0 Michigan. And the Buckeyes second down. 6 to go at their own 35-yard line. They're on the right hash going from south to north in the big house. If you've been here before, you know the south end is the end with a flagpole. To our right from the press box view. 2 tight ends for Ohio State. Single setback, Liddell Ross, and here's Krenzel to throw with time. Flips it again toward the right sideline. Again, Hamby, and again he's got a short gain and will be tackled shy of the first down. It'll be 3rd down coming up. So Hamby catches 2 in a row. It'll be 3rd down and 1 after LeSueur's tackle right on the 40-yard line.
Good solid tackling too. That's LeSueur handling Hamby, who is an awfully big guy, 6'5", 240.
What a great senior year Jeremy LeSueur has had.
Outstanding.
You talk about one of the most improved players on this team.
How about the fact that Michigan felt he was going to be this good that they moved their best corner, Marlon Jackson, into safety to let Jeremy LeSueur play corner.
3rd down and 1. Offset eye for Brandon Joe and Liddell Ross. Now Joe, the fullback, in motion. Fake to Ross. Krenzel rolling right. He's going to take off, dives forward, and he'll get the first down to about the 42. He was hit by Pierre Woods and by Hoyer and by Stevens. He's got a first down, though. Good play. A little roll out, and that might have been a planned play, Jim.
It was. I don't think there was any pass going. They tried to get the defensive end logged inside. Hoyer tried to fight outside to get out there, but he just didn't have the speed. And once Krenzel cleared the contain, he was able to get upfield and get that first down. But I don't think he was thinking about passing at all.
3:40 to go in the half. Ohio State has not crossed midfield yet. 21-0 Michigan. 2 tight ends. A balanced line. Ross is the only setback, and now Krenzel's calling timeout. Well, there was a formation problem right there.
Well, Hamby was on the line of scrimmage, and he needed Hamby to move back to create the 7 and 4 look, where he had 7 guys on the line and 4 in the backfield. But Hamby He got out of phase. He was in the wrong spot, and Krenzel couldn't get him back.
So Ohio State burns the timeout for the second time. They got one remaining. 3:29 left in the half. 21-0 Michigan. Let's take timeout ourselves. From Host Communication, you're listening to the Michigan Sports Network. Ohio State on its own 43. And they've got first down there after the timeout. Play action fake. Krenzel to throw. Massey with pressure. Crossing route. He delivers the ball complete for a first down to Santonio Holmes, who's tackled immediately by LeSueur on the Michigan 45. So Ohio State, after that gain of about 11, is into Michigan territory for the first time. By the way, Braylon Edwards now, Jim, with 14 TD catches on the year. That ties second best ever for Michigan. Anthony Carter in 80. David Terrell in 2000 had 14. The record is Desmond Howard in 91, his Heisman Trophy season. Ohio State first down, 3 wideouts, quick slant to Jenkins, got it, hit immediately at the 40-yard line. Michigan trying to strip the ball, the whistle blows as Jenkins tries to pull away from Marcus Curry. Now Marcus progress with a gain of 5, a little more than that perhaps. Second down for Ohio State. And about 4 to go from the Michigan, call it 5 to go from the 40.
Well, that's the first quick pass that Ohio State has thrown. That was a 2-step drop. And Krenzel had somebody right in his face, but really it's the only pressure Michigan has gotten on him.
Out to the right goes Santonio Holmes. To the left is Michael Jenkins, their leading receiver. 41 catches coming in. Kashima very wide at defensive end, coming with pressure. Here's the throw by Krenzel, and it's complete at the 30-yard line of Michigan, right in front of Curry to Jenkins. And that'll be another first down for Ohio State. They're moving the ball with 2:09 to go in the first. Trailing 21-0.
Give Ohio State's offensive line credit. Boy, they're doing a nice job of pass protecting for Krenzel, as Ohio State pretty much has gone away from any of their run game.
Krenzel to throw again. With time, quarterback draw up the middle. He spins away and gets inside the 25. Kashima and Woods had shots at him, but Krenzel, who's a big fella at 6'4" and 225, kept driving those legs and then twisted down to the 23 for 6 yards.
That's the kind of quarterback he is. You've got to wrap him up because he is strong enough. He'll run through tackles.
Lamar Woodley. Check that. Woodley started to go in. It's Roy Manning who goes in now. Gabe Watson in up front for the Wolverines. Second down. Krenzel to throw. Looking. Quick slant left. Jenkins has it inside the 20. That's going to be a first down. But Jenkins, with Michigan playing soft on the coverage, Jim, looks like he's going 3 steps and just stopping, and Krenzel's throwing it to him.
Exactly what he's doing. And again, this is Michigan's plan, it appears, is let Krenzel throw it, and it's all underneath stuff. Time is a factor. 1:16 left to go and ticking here in the first half.
Ohio State with only 1 timeout remaining. Michael Jenkins is getting up to the 150 catch mark in his career, 3rd all-time for the Buckeyes. Krenzel first down at the 17, drops to throw, looking, firing, and this is incomplete down at the goal line. Jenkins was trying to run a post, but Marcus Curry cut inside of him and wouldn't let him make the cut inside where the ball was thrown.
Good job by Curry. And positional defense, and that's what you need from a corner. You've got to read the route and then get underneath the route, and it was a slant cut or post cut, and gee, Marcus played it beautifully.
Krenzel 13 out of 17 for 110 yards. Massey and Harrison and Diggs go into the lineup for Michigan. So up front now, they got Harrison alongside Bowman and Stevens and Massey. And it's a play-action fake, and here's Krenzel rolling right. Now back to his left to throw. He's hit. He spins away from a tackle. Gets to the 15, sideline to the 10, and he's shoved out of bounds around the 9-yard line by Marlon Jackson. They should have had him back at the 20.
You've got to wrap him up. Greg Krenzel is a strong quarterback, and this Michigan defense, particularly the linemen, have to realize this is not a quarterback that's going to go down on a hit. You have got to tackle him and wrap him up. And Lawrence Reed that time missed him. What would have been a loss for about 5 yards.
Instead, it's 3rd down at the 8-yard line. A long yard to go. 49 seconds left in the half. He went out of bounds to stop the clock. 21-0 Michigan. Santonio Holmes to the right. Out to the left, Michael Jenkins. Liddell Ross is the only setback. Now they're bump and run on the wideouts. 9 men at the line. Krenzel lobbing it in the end zone. Right side. Caught for a touchdown by Santonio Holmes. He just ran that little fade behind Jeremy Lesore. And the Buckeyes are on the board. Holmes with his 4th TD grab of the year. 21-6 Michigan. 44 seconds to go in the half as the Buckeyes go 81 yards in 12 plays.
Michigan came up with both corners in bump and run man coverage. Lesore just got his head turned around a little bit late, couldn't get his eye on the football, and give Holmes credit, made a nice catch, and Krenzel made a nice throw.
Mike Nugent, 30 out of 30 on the year to attempt the extra point. Ball placed down, his kick is up, and it's good. So with 44 seconds to go in the half, Ohio State is on the board. Michigan 21, the Buckeyes 7, and there's a flag down on that extra point.
This is going to be post-action. So it's going to be a personal foul on somebody. I don't know who, though.
Now let's wait for Jim Lapatina, our referee.
After the try, dead ball, personal foul on the kicking team. That penalty will be 15 yards, and it'll be administered on the kickoff.
That is a big penalty.
Boy. Well, Michigan has 3 timeouts left. With 44 seconds, they're going to get the ball, if they get a decent return on this, in decent field position. So that is a huge penalty at this point.
So let's see whether it has an impact. Good drive by the Buckeyes, meantime, going 81 yards in 12 plays. You look at the total yardage now, it's 254 to 159.
Well, the interesting thing now is Steve Breston will go back, I think, at least what we can see down on the sideline as the special team gets ready. Breston will go in the ball game to take this kickoff. Now, Ohio State's going to be kicking from the 20. Now, Breston can make something happen with this kick. Michigan 3 timeouts left, 44 seconds. Frank, Michigan might have an opportunity to answer. If not a touchdown, maybe they can get 3 out of it.
And by the way, in case you're wondering, Michigan will receive the ball first in the second half. The kickoff will now take place from the 20-yard line. Post-game show, don't forget, stay tuned. We'll have the Blue Diamond Almonds' nuttiest play of the game. You got Jeremy Lesore back deep along with Breston, and they're standing around the 15-yard line. Nugent to kick it away for the Buckeyes. From the 20 after that big penalty. Lesore averaging over 20 yards a run back. Breston right around 20 on the year. Here's the kick by Nugent. High and end over end, but this one will come down to Breston at the 16. He heads up the hash to the 15, to the 20, and out to the 30-yard line, where he's upended by Santonio Holmes. So Michigan didn't get all it wanted out of that. They'll start on their own 31 after the 15-yard run back. Good job by Nugent getting hang time on that kick.
Great job by Nugent, because that hang time is really what allowed Ohio State to get that coverage unit downfield. Even though they start outside the 30, still, Michigan would have liked Breston to get it out over the 40 and give him a shot with 40 seconds left.
But instead, Lloyd Carr is going to sit on a 14-point lead and wait for the second half to come around. The crowd booing a little bit, but you look at this strategy, Jim, this is sound. You don't want to take any chances right here and let Ohio State get to within 1 score.
No, and remember what you said. Michigan gets the ball to open the second half. And that is something I think is playing on Lloyd Carr's mind. He wants to get the ball in the second half and the third quarter with a 21-7 lead.
Well, Ohio State will not use that final timeout either. The teams are already headed to the tunnel. The Buckeyes will go in first. The Wolverines will follow. Michigan with a touchdown in the first quarter on Breston's 3-yard run, then 2 TD passes, Navarre to Edwards in the second quarter before that late Ohio State drive of 81 yards to get back in the ball game at 21-7 before the intermission. At the half, again, Michigan 21, Ohio State 7. From Host Communications, you're listening to the Michigan Sports Network.
Have Carl Tabb, fine wide receiver for Michigan, helps convert a 3rd and long. Hopefully he'll be able to do that in the second half, because Jason Avant, I'm told by the Michigan medical staff, will not return this afternoon.
All right, thanks. That's bad news. The Wolverines lost Avant, of course, as Steve reported earlier, to that sprained ankle on the first series of the game where he caught a pass and was tackled. Sprained his ankle on the play, and he's done for the day. But the Wolverines trying to overcome that. We saw Braylon Edwards catch a touchdown pass and then go to the bench and give the ball to Jason Avant, who had left the field crying with that sprained ankle. Nugent's kick, a good one, high and end over end. Breston waits for it, grabs it at the 5, angles left across the hash, has a seam at the 20, outside to the 25, upfield at the 30, cuts right, he's hit once, twice, knocked down from behind up around the 38-yard line. That is the magic of Steve Breston right there.
And the ability for Michigan in this opening possession of the third quarter to get good field position, because Ohio State, with that late touchdown before the half, grabbed a little bit of momentum. Now it's up to the Michigan offense to take that momentum back.
Chris Perry, with 53 yards in 12 first-half carries, is the tailback. The fullback is Kevin Dudley, and Perry gets the handoff on the left side. Angles left, finds a hole, fights up to the 45-yard line for a gain of about 7.
Good lead block again by Kevin Dudley. Boy, has he been good this year.
Will Allen made the tackle for Ohio State along with Dustin Fox. The Buckeyes defensive front, Tim Anderson and Darian Scott at the tackles. And then you got Simon Frazier and Will Smith at the ends. Michigan's done a good job so far on Will Smith. Fred Puggett, A.J. Hawk, Robert Reynolds, the linebackers, Dustin Fox, Chris Gamble, the corners, Will Allen, Nate Sally, the tackles. Here comes Perry again. What a cut to his left to get around Anderson. He's got a first down over midfield and down to the Buckeye 47. He got about 8 yards. Nate Sally made the stop, and Tim Anderson was left grasping at air, Jim.
And Dustin Fox was just about the same way. Fox came up to try to make a play on him, and Perry made him miss. Boy, is he running with some authority, and if there's any lingering problem with a hamstring, it doesn't look like it, because those were some big-time cuts.
First down at the Buckeye 47. The tight end Minery shifts over short side left. Both wideouts right. Tab spread that way. Edwards going in motion. Blitz coming. Navarre fires quickly on a slant caught by Edwards. He spins inside the 35. A.J. Hawk, the linebacker, has him at the 30. 17 yards. First down, Michigan, and they picked up that blitz beautifully.
And that was Chris Perry again. And I think that Terry Malone is doing a great job of guessing right, because that's a situation where they bring people from the edge, which creates holes in the secondary. And on first down, they gave the play fake, and the blitz came. Perry picked it up, and there was a wide open hole for Braylon Edwards.
And how about John Navarre? 13 out of 20, 197 yards, 2 touchdowns this afternoon. Perry's the only setback. Navarre in the hole to throw. Screen right to Perry, and he just threw it over his head, incomplete.
Well, he threw it away. He saw that Ohio State had the screen covered. And John knows, he said, don't throw that into real traffic. So throw it away, and he threw it over Chris's head.
How about Troy Nienberg down here on the sideline? He's the longer field goal kicker and the kickoff man. And after that incompletion, he came running out on the field and stretched that leg with a good, strong boot. He said, I can kick at 60 right now, Coach.
What's that called, Frank? Is staying in the game. And here's a kicker.
It's called being a kicker,
That's
too.
right, but it's staying in the game, knowing the down, knowing the position on the field where the ball is.
All right, second down and 10 at the Buckeye 30. Ball in the center of the field. Single setback, Perry. 3 wideouts. Perry on a quick hitter up the middle. Got a hole. Cuts to his left. 25 to the 20. 15. 10. 5. Chris Perry. Touchdown, Michigan. 30 yards for Perry. And the Wolverines lead at 27-7. What a performance by this well-balanced offense today.
One of the other things about this play is amazing. They had man coverage on the outside. Carl Tabb had Dustin Fox, the corner, turned around with his back to the ball. And all Tabb did was run in and out of the back of the end zone. And Fox followed him with his back to the ball, and that allowed Perry to run right in behind him.
Garrett Rivas extra point try out of the hold of Gutierrez is in the air, and it's good. We played less than 2 minutes in the second half. And Michigan has driven 62 yards in 5 plays to increase its lead to 28-7. And this place is just alive in ecstasy right now after Chris Perry puts Michigan over 100 yards in the game as a team on the ground. And individually, Chris Perry, 15 carries, 98 yards.
Well, Perry also put a move on Nate Sally and left Sally standing around looking for an article of clothing at about the 20-yard line. What a job Chris Perry's done. Whatever, if he's got a hamstring problem, I want you to know, Frank, he's not showing it when that ball snaps.
You know, Jim, we've been talking about it since about the third week of the season, and this story finally got to the newspaper people this last week about how Chris Perry is running with his heart after finding out the week before the opener that his mother had breast cancer, and what a job he's done. Maurice Hall takes the kick from Nienberg, 3 yards deep in the end zone. Coming out, mistake. Joey Sorrentos hit him and knocked him down at the 15. And how good does that have to feel for Joey Sorrentos, who was forced into action in the Ohio State game last year because of the broken leg suffered by Carl Diggs, who got beat on a key pass by Maurice Claret that set up the winning touchdown in that game. And he comes up big right here.
And Joey Sorrentos wearing number 59, same number his father wore as the long snapper in the 1969 Michigan 24-12 win. What a great moment for that young man.
Ohio State trailing by 3 touchdowns. Quick throw to Jenkins from Krenzel, and he dropped it. Michigan played a little tighter that time with Marcus Curry on Jenkins at the 20 on that quick hitch, and he couldn't hold it. Let's pause right here. 15 seconds and allow our Michigan Sports Network stations to identify themselves.
This is the official voice of Michigan football. 760 WJR Detroit.
Let's go blue with WJR.
Second and 10 Buckeyes on their own 15. Krenzel in the hole to throw again. Pressure from Stevens. Flares it out right side. Caught in the flat by Liddell Ross. He's going nowhere. Ross, the tailback, tackled right at the line of scrimmage. And how about Pierre Woods getting out there and making the stop on the play?
How about the fact that Ohio State comes out, runs a couple of plays that were successful in their touchdown drive earlier. The little short slant, it was covered tighter by Curry. This time they go to the flat to the running back. Again, a play that had gotten them some yardage. Michigan is on it. Jimmy Herman has adjusted to those successful plays, done those subtle changes to get Michigan in the right position.
Third down. 10 yards to go for the Buckeyes. They'll split 4 receivers wide now from their own 15. Krenzel in the gun, low snap, pulls it up, drops to throw, some heat. Down the middle he goes, and it's caught. Good grab by Jenkins over the 30-yard line for a first down. He took a hit from Behringer, but held on to the ball. He's got 16 yards, and the Buckeyes move the chains.
Just a 3-man rush that time. Michigan covered with 8, and that 3-man rush has got to get in there a little bit quicker, because if Krenzel has time to set his feet, he's going to find those guys in the seam of that zone.
So the Buckeyes give their fans something to shout about. Krenzel to throw on first down at the 31. Down the middle, incomplete. Boy, he had a chance right there because his receiver, Santonio Holmes, was going to break open when Curry fell down. But Holmes had to stop and leap over Curry's fallen body. That kind of messed up the play, didn't it?
It did, and that's one of those situations where, you know, there's incidental contact. The fact that Curry had inside position, and Holmes tried to break it up over the middle, and he actually knocks Curry down. But that's good defense from Marcus Curry, squatting on a route, and right at the point of the attack, he gets the inside position.
Second down and 10, Ohio State on their own 31. From the right hash, Krenzel up under center, drops to throw. He's got time, rolling to his left. Kashima chasing. Now Krenzel throws to Jenkins, open on a crossing route toward the far sideline. 40, 35. Behringer chases him, knocks him out of bounds, down around the Michigan 28-yard line. A broken play, and it goes for 41 yards and an Ohio State first down.
The key is pressure on Krenzel. Michigan is not getting any real substantial pressure on Craig Krenzel. And if he's standing back there with all kinds of time, he's got too many skilled people running around that secondary to cover all day.
Ohio State converting a key third down in this drive, and now They're in Michigan territory, trailing 28-7 with 11:28 to go in the third. Jenkins out to the left, Santonio Holmes to the right. On a wing right is the second tight end, Hamby. He goes in motion left. Krenzel's going to throw. Four-man rush, has time. Now he's feeling pressure, and he is sacked back around the 33-yard line. The pocket collapsed with Gabe Watson getting in there with Pierre Woods, Lamar Woodley, and Larry Harrison. They all got to him.
Well, this time Michigan did a better job. That time they had a man covered in the flat, which was the go-to guy if there's pressure, linebacker and man coverage in the tight end. They had three other guys deep on two running routes, and that allowed Michigan to get some heat on Krenzel.
That is the first sack of the game for either team. It's a loss of 4. We'll call it the 32. Second down, Buckeyes, 14 to go. Michigan now showing 6 up front. Will they blitz? They have not done that very often. Krenzel play action fake, dropping to throw. Heat coming. He's down again. Back on the 42. Elaine Kashima back in the lineup for the Wolverines for the first time in a month. Got a sack. 2 in a row for the Wolverines.
Again, Ohio State is not running the ball. Every snap in this possession, because of Michigan's ability to get that touchdown early, forcing Ohio State away from their game plan, which likes to feature the run and put Krenzel back there throwing it almost every down.
Now it's third down and 23. They're at the 41. They need to reach the 18 for a first down. Krenzel in the gun. He's got Ross and Brandon Joe, the fullback, in there with him. Now Joe splits out left. It's a fake draw, an end around, and it's fake there. The pass in the right flat to Ross is incomplete. So Ohio State goes to the razzle-dazzle. A fake first to the tailback, then they fake the end around, then they throw to the tailback on the right side, and it all goes as an incomplete pass.
It's all about assignment defense. Scott McClintock has the running back man for man. Now, with all that faking, sometimes as a linebacker, he'll kind of run around and look for the ball. Scott McClintock stayed steady on the running back. When the ball got there, so did McClintock. Incomplete.
4th and 23 at the 41. Sander to punt. Breaston deep. Wobbly kick right side. Hits at the 12. Makes a right turn inside the 10. And this is going to be down to around the 7 or 8 yard line. That's what the Buckeyes do very, very well. B.J. Sander outstanding at pinning teams deep. The only problem for Ohio State, it comes with 9:39 to go in the third, and they're down 3 touchdowns. And so they can't quite play the same kind of strategy they normally do, although they'll take it right now and look for that turnover, trailing Michigan 28-7. Right now, timeout from Host Communications. You're listening to the Michigan Sports Network. Michigan has the lead 28-7. The Buckeyes have finally pinned them back with poor field position down at the Michigan 7. If the Wolverines can punch it out for a couple of first downs and change field position, they'll feel awfully good because they'll have taken some time off the clock. And should they be able to drive down and score, well, school might be out.
And this is a dangerous spot. This is where Ohio State gets aggressive defensively. This is how they beat Purdue.
They got 5 men up front. Yep, against Purdue, they wound up with a defensive touchdown.
Right.
Mike Kudlow recovered a fumble in the end zone.
And that's exactly what Ohio State likes to do. Their defense gets aggressive, create the negative play or turnover deep in the opponent's end.
And Chris Perry's the tailback now. The ball on the 7. Perry running behind Dudley in motion left. Little delay. Perry dances to the right, cuts back left through a hole, out to the 10 to the 11-yard line, and Chris Perry got 4. He is over 100 yards rushing on the afternoon. And for Chris Perry now, the 100-yard rushing day is his 8th of the year, and it's only the second time this year an individual opponent has gone over 100 yards. Second to go at the 11. Perry, 102 yards, 16 carries and a touchdown, and here he comes again. He hurdles a fallen body, A.J. Hawk, and then is drilled up at the 13-yard line.
Now Chris has got a bad leg.
Yeah, he got hit very, very hard as he went up in the air. And he's holding that left leg as Paul Schmidt, the trainer, heads out to take care of him. Well, that was just a hard hit. When he went up, Jim, he just got caught in midair, and it appeared.
And, you know, when you get caught in midair like that, when you come down, you can get that leg in some pretty awful positions, and you just hope that it's nothing serious.
Chris Perry shaking up on the play.
And it's tough to see on the replay exactly how he got hurt. Will Smith down at the bottom of the pile was yanking on his leg, trying to bring him down. There's nothing egregious, and Chris now gets to his feet with the crowd chanting, Perry, Perry, and Chris Perry is walking off under his own power. What a warrior. With that wristband that's up around his bicep that says Mom. Chris Perry, 104 yards in 17 carries. Michigan 122 on the ground against Ohio State, the number one run defense in the country.
And I got a feeling you'll see Chris Perry back before this day is over.
Count on it, pal. He's replaced by Pierre Rimbert, the sophomore. On 3rd down and 4 at the 13, Navarre's going to throw for it. He's going to heave it deep. Braylon Edwards breaking open, takes it in over the shoulder. 50, 45, 40. There he goes. Braylon Edwards. He's going to go in for a touchdown, Michigan. But there is a flag back at the 11-yard line. Hold on. This is an 87-yard touchdown throw that is going to be called back. Oh my, it's holding on Michigan.
Boy, he just blew by Chris Gamble, though, didn't he?
Did he ever. And what a throw by Navarre, hitting him in stride. Well, the holding will wipe it out, though. And I think Will Smith was the man being held because he was standing back there at the 15, waving everybody to come back down.
Well, Will Smith got up outside.
On the offense. After this is the goal, in the previous spot, repeat 3rd down.
And again, you're talking about Smith working against Adam Stenavich. This was a hard upfield rush. And Stenavich playing the left tackle, got a little bit of a late start. And Smith got upfield, and Adam Stenavich hooked an arm around him, and John Navarre got the ball off because of that.
No doubt he
good
did
call. Yeah, good call by the official.
Now the ball's back on the 7, 3rd down and 10. And Edwards needs to take a rest.
Look who the running back is.
Yeah, Perry's at tailback. High formation, and Navarre's going to give it to Perry on a draw. Bouncing outside left, looking for running room. He's in trouble back inside the 5. Oh, he's run out of bounds, and 5 yards out of bounds, he's shoved further. And the crowd is screaming for a flag, but is not going to get one. 4 Buckeyes escorted him almost to the wall out of bounds. And Chris Perry will wind up with a 3-yard loss, and Michigan will have to punt out of its own end zone. Yeah, that's how a game can change, just like that, my friends.
Well, this is the way Ohio State plays. You play field position, you play to your defense. They kick it away. They hold Michigan thanks to a holding call. It was the correct call.
Yep.
On Adam Stenavich. They don't get the big, long touchdown run, and they force Adam Finley to kick out of his own end zone. This is MO of Ohio State.
Michael Jenkins deep, standing on the Michigan 46. Finley's only about 8 yards off the line. Gets the snap and kicks it away. High, wobbly spiral, short. Jenkins up, grabs it on the 36. Spun around, breaks to his left. Look out, he's got some running room. Cuts upfield inside of Massey to the 30. Stevens giving chase. Flags fly. A shove in the back around the 33-yard line on Carl Diggs. So you can wipe out the return by Jenkins down to the Michigan 18-yard line. This will move the ball back to the 43. It was Dante Whitner, the backup safety, who shoved Diggs in the back.
And Adam Finley got drilled also in the back. No call there.
I thought Massey got hit in the back early on that, too.
But Finley got up a little bit slow because, I mean, he got cold cocked.
On the return team, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
That was a great run back by Michael Jenkins, but all for naught. 7:58 to go. The walk-off moves the ball back to the 43 of Michigan. That's where Ohio State gets it, trailing 28-7.
Well, this defense will be tested now.
The Buckeyes will split Santonio Holmes to the right. The dangerous speedster, Roy Hall, out to the left. He's up against Marcus Curry. Offset eye, power right in the backfield from the left hash. Krenzel back to throw. He's looking. He looks. He flips it left side, and it's off the fingertips of Hall. Incomplete. There is a flag down, and this might be holding on Ohio State. Norman Hoyer is pointing at the Buckeyes' Alex Stepanovich, the right guard. And that's the call, holding on Ohio State.
Well, Ohio State, surprisingly, comes into this game one of the most penalized teams in the Big Ten.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty for the previous spot. Go first down.
Well, that sure helps the Wolverines right there.
That's 5 penalties, 65 yards on the Buckeyes. Michigan 3 for 26. But it actually is 3 for 26 plus 87 yards plus 7 points. Because that one hold wiped out a touchdown.
Yeah, when you factor those numbers in, makes a huge difference in that holding call.
Now the Buckeyes back on their own 47. Krenzel in the shotgun on 1st and 20. Quarterback draw. He comes out to the left. He gets around Pierre Woods with a nice move down to the Michigan 40. And he's finally knocked down there by Jeremy Lesueur, by Ernest Shazor.
From the shotgun and no backs in the backfield, Michigan takes everybody out of the middle of the field. There is nobody in the middle. That means the defensive lineman has got to be responsible for the quarterback draw. And in that instance, that was a designed QB draw. I don't think there was any pass at all. Krenzel saw nobody in the middle and went to the shotgun with an empty backfield and made a good run out of it.
He got 14 right there. Krenzel is Ohio State's leading rusher. 8 carries, 26 yards. The rest of the team has run for 16. Krenzel to throw. With time, he fires to Jenkins. Near side, he's got it. Lesueur fell down. Jenkins up the sideline. And Marlon Jackson bangs him out of bounds. But not until Michael Jenkins got down to the 13-yard line. And the Buckeyes are threatening. 7:02 left in the third. 28-7 Michigan. But Ohio State is on the move now.
Well,
They've overcome a holding penalty.
Yeah, and again, Lesueur slipped on the coverage there and allowed Jenkins to make a little bit of a spin move and get outside of him.
Greg Krenzel has now completed 18 out of 25 for 201 yards. He's had a fine game trying to become the first Ohio State quarterback to beat Michigan 3 straight years. And Michael Jenkins over 100 yards now. 8 catches, 125. Krenzel firing again to Jenkins, incomplete. Threw it a little behind him on the right sideline down at the 7. 2nd and 10 coming up. Buckeyes on the 13 of Michigan.
Boy, Michigan doing a nice job of changing up front, too. They're getting some fresh legs in there. Harrison and Watson come in, along with an Alstein, replacing Hoyer and Bowman. Now they go with more changes. Cashman in there.
Listen, later on the post-game show, we'll name our Les Stanford Chevrolet crowning hit of the game. 6:59 left in the third, 28-7. Michigan on top. Buckeyes threatening. 2nd and 10 on the 13. 3 wide for Ohio State. Michigan showing blitz. Here they come. Krenzel's going to lob it up for Holmes, right corner of the end zone. He's got it. Touchdown. He got behind Leon Hall. Santonio Holmes in man coverage has a 13-yard touchdown grab, and Ohio State cuts the margin to 28-13.
Michigan came with a blitz that time as Jim Herman gambled, and he put Leon Hall out there, and Santonio Holmes just ran a straight fly route. Leon Hall got beat by a step, and Krenzel, who has been outstanding throwing the ball today, got it into him at the back of the end zone.
Boy, and how a game can turn around. Extra point try by Mike Nugent right here to pull the Buckeyes back to within 2 scores. The snap was a good one, placed down by B.J. Sander, and the kick is up and good. 6:55 to go here in the third quarter. Michigan 28, Ohio State 14. Timeout. You're listening to Michigan football. All right, Tommy, thank you. Here it's 28-14, Michigan over Ohio State with 6:55 to go in the third. You talk about a change in momentum in the ball game. It looks like an 87-yard touchdown bomb. John Navarre to Braylon Edwards. It's wiped out by a hold. Ohio State gets it back after the punt. 43 yards, 4 plays. They score instead. And rather than a 35-7 romp, it's 28-14, and the Buckeyes are back in it.
And this is where, as a team, you have to answer. If you're Michigan, you have to answer that score, just like they did opening the third quarter, taking that ball in for a score.
Listen, later we'll name the AT&T Wireless Player of the Game. High short kick by Nugent. This kick's going to be grabbed at the 20 by McClintock. He'll race up the left side. He's got a hole up over the 35 to the 40. They try to strip the ball from Scott McClintock, but the man who sealed the MSU win with an interception on the last play says, no sirree, I'm holding on to this baby. And down he goes at the 39 after a 20-yard run back.
And that's a former high school fullback. People don't realize this isn't just a linebacker. Why was he back deep on that Michigan State play? Because he's got great hands, and he is a skilled athlete in that regard. So this kick return by McClintock keeps it away from Preston, yet Michigan starts at the 40.
How about that? You kick it away from Preston, and they're still on the 40. High formation. Chris Perry at tailback. He's going to run short side left with a handoff from Navarre, and he stumbled over the body of his fullback Dudley, and he'll get a yard or two, and that'll be it. Good penetration by Ohio State, and then the tackle by Darian Scott. Puggich was also there, and it'll be 2nd down and 8 for the Wolverines. Well, the only team, the top rushing game against Ohio State this year was 141 yards by Wisconsin. Michigan's at 123 with 6 minutes to go in the third. Booker Stanley of Wisconsin had 125 yards in that game. That's the best against Ohio State this year. Perry's at 103 and 19 carries. And now Navarre's going to call timeout. He was running down that play clock with Edwards still going in motion, and Michigan uses time with 6:06 to play in the third. Michigan 28, Ohio State 14. From Host Communications, you're listening to the Michigan Sports Network. Yeah, we thought there was going to be a new attendance record set at this afternoon's game. Marty Bodner, Michigan's ticket manager, predicted it. And he was right on, Jim. 112,118 are crammed into the big house to see the 100th renewal of the game, Michigan-Ohio State rivalry. 3 wideouts now for the Wolverines. 2nd down, a long 8 from the 42. And back goes Navarre to throw. He's looking, short hitch, caught by Edwards. Breaks inside, but good tackle right there by Will Allen, the safety. Wouldn't let him get away. Will's a big fella. He's 6'2", 190 pounds, just about the same size as Braylon Edwards, and so that's a good matchup when they go man-to-man.
Yes, it is. And Braylon that time, again, just came in motion and got downfield about 4 yards and settled underneath the zone. Tried to make an inside move around Allen, but couldn't break the tackle. 3rd and about 4.
The ball at the Michigan 47. They've got to get it just over the midfield stripe. Statistically, we'll call it 3 to go. Ohio State showing 6 men at the line. I formation for the Wolverines. Perry and Dudley in the backfield. Perry on a delay. Allen blitzing from safety, wraps him up at the line and stuffs him. It'll be 4th and 3, and Michigan will have to punt. 5 minutes to go in the third. The Buckeyes will get it back. Finley to punt. Michael Jenkins standing back at the 10. Ross Mann sending it back for Finley's 3rd punt of the game, and he kicks it away. Good kick. Jenkins waving fair catch. He goes back and grabs it on the 5-yard line. Oh, my goodness.
Boy, you're supposed to put your heels on the 10, and if the ball goes over your head, you let it go. But Jenkins makes a mistake there.
Oh, look where they're putting the ball. Up on the 7.
On the 7. Well,
okay. That's where they saw it.
Yeah, that's where they saw him make the catch. He backed up 2 yards, but this is where the Michigan defense now has to do what Ohio State's defense does, and that is hold Ohio State from getting a 1st down, and then they would get good field position going the other way.
46-yard punt by Finley. And here you got the Buckeyes pinned back there now like Michigan was earlier. And the Wolverine faithful bathed in that May sunlight. Coming alive as Ohio State tries to move it out of the north end zone. Krenzel back to throw. He's being pressured by Hoyer. Flips it in the flat, incomplete for Hartsock, the tight end, just off his hands.
And Krenzel got hit, and Krenzel's slow getting up.
Now Hoyer was coming hard with that rush. Krenzel writhing on the field on his back at the goal line. Well, he had a concussion earlier this year. And that's what you worry about with Craig Krenzel right now. We'll watch the replay here, Jim, and see if we can find what happened.
Well, it's Hoyer, and underneath it looks like
Massey.
Massey. Yeah, he grabbed a leg, and they all fell down. It was a legal play. I mean, he was awful close. The pressure forced the ball to be thrown high.
Now, Scott McMullen very quickly gets loose on the sideline. McMullen, the senior out of Granville, Ohio, started 2 games earlier this year against Bowling Green and Northwestern. Krenzel's on his feet. Now he's got to come out of the game for at least 1 play. And he's in some pain. I don't know if it's his left arm.
Well, he fell right down on top of his left shoulder.
Yeah, he's holding that left shoulder. And he's obviously in great pain. And what a tough competitor he is.
And I'll tell you what, he's played brilliantly today. His passing has been Ohio State's offense, 19 of 28 for 214 and 2 scores.
So now McMullen comes in. He is completing 66% of his passes this year in 6 games. 43 out of 65. 507 yards, 5 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. And he's going to hand the ball off to Ross on the left side. He bursts through over the 10 and out to the 12 or 13. He got about 6 yards. It'll be 3rd down. Ernest Chazor on the stop.
Well, they give McMullen that time just to get his feet wet. Let him hand it off. Get some working room back there. Will they force him to throw now on 3rd down?
Massey comes out with Hoyer and Diggs. Leon Hall checks in. Kashima's in there up front with Watson and Woodley. Michigan's got 6 defensive backs in the game.
Empty backfield with 5 wides.
And McMullen can run too, just like Krenzel. Here comes the blitz from Lawrence Reed. McMullen's going to lob it up for Jenkins. Near side, batted away on a great defensive play by Jeremy LeSueur out at the 40-yard line. Oh, did he time that jump perfectly.
Boy, you take your chances in man coverage, and it was man across on 5 wide receivers. They tried to get Jenkins behind LeSueur, and LeSueur was up to the challenge.
4th and 4, Buckeyes on their own 13. Under 4 minutes remaining in the 3rd, and Ohio State will punt, trailing 28-14. Breston standing back around his own 40. B.J. Sander in his own end zone gets the snap, a little low, gets the kick away. The left footer lines one out there. Breston waits for a hop. It gets by him at the 40. He goes back, picks it up on the 34, races to his right, up to the 40 now. He runs into traffic at the 43, fights through that tackle, and he's over the 45 to the 47 before he's brought down by the backup defensive lineman Mike Kudla. What a run back.
Unbelievable. I mean, that ball bounced about 10 yards behind him. He went back, got it, and just with a quick step up field, he made 2 guys miss and got 13 out of the return.
And Michigan gets great field position on its own 47 with 3:36 to go in the 3rd. 18 minutes, 36 seconds left in regulation for the Big Ten championship between Michigan and Ohio State. The Wolverines lead by 2 touchdowns. Minery, the tight end, shifts to the short side right. Navarre from the right hash has Thompson at fullback in front of Perry in the offset eye. He fakes it to Perry. He drops the throw. He fires near side for Tabb, incomplete. He had to rush the throw because John Navarre was being pressured by Simon Frazier.
Right, and Tabb didn't turn and look for the ball. Carl's, again, he's filling in for Jason Avant. And Carl actually ran that route a little deep, and he did not turn and look for the ball.
Craig Krenzel, meantime, Jim, is headed up the tunnel toward the Ohio State locker room and very likely to the Michigan facility for some x-rays on that shoulder. 2nd down and 10. Navarre now 14 out of 23, 201 yards, 2 touchdowns. And remember, he had an 87-yard touchdown pass wiped out by a holding call. Now he's in the gun with 4 receivers split wide. 4-man rush. He turns, fires a screen to the right to Breston. He's got it. He shakes one tackler. Can't get away from Tim Anderson, though. The defensive lineman peeled back to make the stop for a 4-yard loss. Well, they ran double screen that time.
Double screen that time. Tried to get Chris Perry faking a screen to the wide side, and Breston going to the short side for another screen. And Navarre actually pumped to Perry to get Ohio State to move. To give the Buckeye defense credit. They see that number 15 out there. They're fouling him, and they fouled him right to the screen.
And now it's 3rd down and 14 for Michigan on their own 43 after the 4-yard loss. Ohio State going with 4 defensive backs. That's it. 3 wideouts for Michigan. Navarre to throw. Straight 4-man rush. He fires to the sideline. Breston's got it. Hit immediately by Will Allen. He'll get a gain of 4 back to the original line of scrimmage, the 47. And Michigan will have to punt it back to the Buckeyes. So the defenses take over with 2.5 to play in the 3rd. 28-14 Michigan. And the Wolverines send out Adam Finley to punt.
In the punt is number 39, Adam Finley.
Michael Jenkins back deep for the Buckeyes on his own 10. The clock running with 2:05 to play in the 3rd. Buckeyes are going to rush Finley right here. They've got 10 men up front. Here's the snap. Here they come. And he gets the kick away. He trips over a fallen body of a rusher. The kick is a good one. Hits it to 10, makes a left turn, and it's going to go out of bounds around the 6-yard line. No flag on the rush, and that's a good no call because Finley fell over the body of a Buckeye back there in front of him. But what a kick by Adam Finley again. He pins the Buckeyes for the second straight time on their own 7-yard line after that kick traveled 36 yards and went out of bounds. 1:52 to go here in the third quarter. 28-14 Michigan. The Buckeyes have the ball with Scott McMullen back in at quarterback for the injured Craig Krenzel. Later on, we'll name the AT&T Wireless Player of the game. McMullen, the senior, will have Liddell Ross as the only setback. Santonio Holmes splits left out to the right. Jenkins, and here's McMullen to throw. Out in the right flat, got it to Ross. He made a great move getting around the sewer, up the sideline. He stepped out of bounds at the 16. That'll be a gain of 9.
Boy, what a move he made on LeSueur.
Oh, boy.
I mean, that was as good as Chris Perry's move on Dustin Fox and Nate Sally earlier in the game.
Ball off just short of the 17. Second down. Little less than a yard to
Second
go.
down, we'll call it 1 to go for Ohio State on their own 16. The Buckeyes, who have trailed all the way, trying to come back. They were down by as much as 21-0 in this one. Ross the only setback. Michigan showing blitz. They'll hand the ball to Ross off the left side. He's got a first down to the 21.
Number 30, Liddell
Just
Ross.
dove off tackle right there. Was hit by Pierre Woods. And that'll be a first down for the Buckeyes at the 21-yard line after the 4-yard gain. We're in the final 2 minutes of the third quarter at the Big House. Will it be Michigan winning its record 41st Big Ten title, or will it be Ohio State winning its 30th? Michigan has not won the outright title since '97. Hasn't shared it since 2000. Now the Buckeyes with some late changes. Hamby, the tight end, just came in. They're going to run the ball. And Ross, breaking a tackle at the line, tumbles forward to the 25. Carl Diggs was in the hole, had him. Ross got away from his grasp, but was losing his footing, and he got 4 on the play.
Good play also by Larry Stevens in there. He took on the trap block and basically stoned him right in the hole. And that's what allowed Diggs to get in, and it forced that play more inside because Larry Stevens took on the trap block and was able to dump him.
Van Alstine, Harrison, Diggs all out of the ball game. Michigan goes to the nickel now on 2nd and 6. McClintock's in there at linebacker with Reed. Kashima, Woods, Bowman, and Stevens up front. Quick throw in the right flat is incomplete, and that's because Stevens was coming hard, and McMullen had to get rid of it to Hamby before he turned around. It's incomplete.
Well, that's such a tough block because they're putting the running back, Liddell Ross, trying to block Larry Stevens. I mean, Larry Stevens is able to just get right over the top of it. He lines up wide, gets by the tight end, and he's right over the top of Liddell Ross into the face of McMullen.
McMullen may have had a little more time there, Jim, than he thought he did, too. 3rd down and 6. Buckeyes on their 25. They're going to empty the backfield. From the gun, McMullen fires over the middle, and it's caught by the tight end Hartsock at the 38. He is hit. He goes down. First down. Shazor on the tackle along with Reed and McClintock. But Ben Hartsock, who came in with 31 catches on the year, the second leading receiver for Ohio State, comes up big there, 13 yards and a first down.
Basically, they take 3 receivers to the wide side, run them straight down the field and turn them in. And when against the zone, you got 3 picks. And that's where McMullen went to. The open guy was the tight end, the inside of the 3 receivers.
10 seconds to go, third quarter. Buckeyes ball on their own 38. They've moved it out from the 7. Out of the gun, McMullen to throw. Quick one left side, batted in the air, incomplete. Carl Diggs made a move on the ball as they tried that quick hitch again.
Same play, Frank. 3 men wide left, and basically they run them 5 yards downfield, and they all turn, and they're about 5 yards apart. And McMullen picks the one he feels is the most open. This time, Diggs got in the passing lane and got his hands on it, intended, it looked like, for the tight end.
2nd down and 10. This will be the final play of the third quarter. 3 seconds remaining in the period. 28-14 Michigan. 2nd and 10 Buckeyes. Left hash their own 38. They got two tight ends, both on the right side, the wide side of the field. Here's McMullen to throw. He's firing left side. Jenkins reaches out, falling down, made the catch. He was being shoved to the ground by Curry, held onto the ball at the 46, and there's a flag there. That's probably interference on Marcus Curry.
That's the end of the third quarter.
Let's wait for the officials to tell us. Both men were shoving. I'll tell you what, you watch the replay, it might have been offensive interference. But let's wait, because you don't know what the official picked up and at what point he saw contact or the like.
Well, in my opinion, he saw it from behind, and from behind, it's going to look like Curry made contact. That's just the way it, I think, usually looks. When a referee from behind sees that, he doesn't see the push off by the offensive guy. He sees the push by the defense.
Jim Tressel is out on the field talking to the officials.
Pass interference on the defense. It's a spot foul. Automatic first down. We'll have one untimed down. One untimed down.
So the period cannot end on that penalty. The clock's at 3-0, but they can't end the quarter.
Well,
and the cheerleaders are out on the field. They got to get up
better
and
get off the field.
They got to M. They're in the I. They better spell quickly. There's C. Come on, kids. Yeah, here they come. They're going to leave it at MIC. That's close enough. They're right in front of the Ohio State fans down there, and now they're being booed. So now we have the final play of the third quarter. First down, Ohio State on its own 46, trailing 28-14. From the left hash, single setback, Liddell Ross. Scott McMullen under center, Nick Mangold. Play action fake. He drops to throw. Fires left side. Caught by Hamby, the tight end, up the sideline. Out of bounds at the Michigan 45. 9 yards. First down, Buckeyes, and they're starting to make some noise. Second down and 1 on the Michigan 45. Santonio Holmes to the right. Michael Jenkins to the left. Wolverines are playing a lot of soft coverage, aren't they? Here comes Liddell Ross, the tailback. Diggs reaches for him in the backfield. Lost the grip. And Liddell Ross will plunge forward at right tackle for 3 yards and a first down to the 42 of Michigan.
One of the things is Michigan has not tackled exceptionally well today. I mean, they have let some ball carriers out of there. That time Diggs had Ross for probably a loss of a yard and let him squeeze forward out of a tackle to get that first down.
Ohio State trying to come back. They trailed at 1.21-0. Remember, these are the defending national champions. They're not going to give up easy. They won't go down without a fight. Hamby, the second tight end, in motion right. Ross, the only setback. McMullen's going to throw. Here's Stevens flushing him out of the pocket. McMullen's going to loft it deep. Got a man open. Holmes at the 15. Cuts in at the 10. The 5. Tackled from behind by Jeremy Lesore at the 2-yard line. The broken play goes for a 40-yard gain, and the Buckeyes have it first and goal.
Michigan let a receiver get behind him. And they forgot again about the scrambling of a quarterback. You cannot let go of your you cannot let go of the receiver just because the quarterback comes out of the pocket. And that time they let a receiver go, Santonio Holmes, as the quarterback scrambled. And it got a big play for Ohio State down inside the Michigan 5.
Here comes Lamar Woodley racing out late for that goal line look on defense. I formation, Brandon Joe and Liddell Ross. Tight formation, the 3 tight end look for Ohio State from the right hash. Handoff to Ross, trap play right side. Touchdown, Ohio State. Liddell Ross gets in from 2 yards out. And don't look now, but it's 28-20 pending the extra point.
That was just power football by the Buckeyes. They went over the right side and put Ross in there and put a tight end in motion, led through the hole, and Ohio State is crept to within 7 if they make this extra point.
Talk about your drive of the game, 93 yards in 11 plays. Kyle Andrews to snap it back. B.J. Sander puts the ball down. The extra point attempt partially blocked, but it got through. So it's Michigan 28, Ohio State 21, 13:53 to play in the Big House. Timeout from Host Communications. You're listening to the Michigan Sports Network. Mike Nugent will kick it off. Lesore and Breston are deep. They're back around the 5. Under 14 minutes to play in the 100th renewal of this great rivalry. Nugent moves forward, puts his foot to it, and he drills this kick deep. Preston's going to watch it sail through the end zone. It'll be a touchback.
Michigan will pick the ball and play at the 40-yard
Mike
line.
Nugent's got a burst of adrenaline, doesn't he? The kicker just lashed that one through the end zone. And now let's see if Michigan's offense can find itself again after 3 straight failures. 1, 2, 3 kick. They're taking their time heading out onto the field. John Navarre brings them right to the line of scrimmage with about 15 on the play clock. They'll have Edwards out to the right, Tab to the left, tight end Minery on the left, offset eye, power left for Perry and for Dudley. Here comes Tab in motion now. Navarre dropping to throw, has some time, looking down the middle. He fires, and it is caught by Tab. Oh my goodness, Tab goes down at the 37. I say, oh my goodness, because Tab and Edwards were both running a slant route in the same spot. The ball was 2 yards behind Edwards, and Tab was there to grab it. Somebody made a mistake.
Somebody ran the wrong route, but John Navarre put it in there to the right guy. And Tab made the catch. Big first down conversion for Michigan.
17 yards on the throw by John Navarre.
He looked like he was looking at Tab all the way, though.
If you say so.
Well, I mean, Tab, the ball was right at him.
Yeah, it was. You're right. Now it's Therese Butler out to the right along with Braylon Edwards. Navarre straight back in the hole to throw. He looking deep near side for Edwards, and this one's intercepted. It was a little underthrown, and Chris Gamble picked it off. Braylon Edwards couldn't recover to knock the ball away from him. And Ohio State, trailing by 7, gets the ball back on its own 37-yard line on the first turnover of the game.
But give Gamble some credit. It was a post corner route, and they were going to the sideline, and Gamble read it beautifully. And what he did is he cut underneath the play. Braylon tried to fake him off to the inside and got out behind, and he got underneath the route and just made a great defensive play on it.
So now it's up to the Michigan defense to stand up and answer. From the left hash, Scott McMullen up under center. Gets the snap from Mangold, drops to throw. Reed on a blitz. He got away from it. He throws. Incomplete, a little low. Jenkins couldn't recover and grab it.
Well, Michigan now comes with the inside linebacker on a blitz. And you see, with a quarterback under pressure and you moving his feet, not nearly as accurate. That ball was thrown low and away. And McMullen, because of Reed flying after him, actually hurried that throw and had to throw it sidearm, and it was inaccurate.
We have not seen that much blitzing from Michigan today. And now Jim Herman pulling out the stops with a 7-point lead. Handoff to Ross, going right, has blockers in front. And
What a
Michigan's
play.
Marlon Jackson with Jeremy LeSueur cutting down the interference. The 2 defensive backs make the stop, a 1-yard gain for Ross, and that's it.
That looked like it was going to be a big play because it appeared as though Michigan was outmanned to that side. And what a great job that LeSueur and Jackson did fighting through blockers to get that job done.
So it's 3rd down and 9 for Ohio State from its own 38, and this place is really rocking now. Bam Childress splits to the left along with Hartsock. To the right, you've got Holmes and Jenkins. McMullen in the gun. 4-man rush, steps up in the pocket. He's going to be hit. He's going to go down for a loss on the 36. The Wolverines got to him, and it is Elaine Kashima and Grant Bowman who combined to haul him down. Michigan with its 3rd sack of the ball game, and it's a big one.
And I think you got to give it to the coverage downfield because there was time when McMullen pulled the ball down. He had looked like he had time to throw it, but couldn't get it done, and then the sack got to him.
B.J. Sander is in the punt for Ohio State for the 7th time. He gets the kick away, a high spiral. Breston back, grabs it, fumbled the ball on the 13. It's recovered by Michigan on the 11-yard line. And the man who saved the day for the Wolverines, I believe that's Leon Hall.
It is indeed.
Oh, boy, he came back blocking for Breston, who dropped that ball, and Hall recovered on the 12. So Leon Hall, the freshman out of Vista, California, who has led Michigan with 3 interceptions this year, just came up with a huge play. Michigan's ball on its own 12, 11:48 to go in the Big House, 28-21 Michigan. From Host Communications, you're listening to the Michigan Sports Network. High formation behind Navarre from the left hash. Dudley dancing in motion, and here's Chris Perry bouncing out right, runs into traffic. Simon Frazier shoves him down at the line of scrimmage.
Will Smith on the stop.
Second down and 10 for the Wolverines on the 12, and the Buckeyes doing a much better job against the run here in the second half.
Yep, that was that lead draw that Michigan got so many good yards on earlier in the game. This time, Chris Perry tries to bounce it outside. It doesn't work.
Ecker, Tab, and Breston go in. Minery, Massacoy, and Dudley come out, Jim.
The key here is, and this is, again, one of those situations, Michigan's got to block the blitz because Ohio State gets real aggressive when you get down backed up against your own goal line.
Tab, Edwards, and Breston all to the left. Remember, Jason Avant got hurt earlier. Here's Navarre to throw. Swings it to Perry. Little screen right side. He's up the sideline to the 20, to the 25. First down. And he got a terrific block out there from Matt Lentz, who just got his hand on Dante Whitner, the nickelback, Jim, and just deflected him a little bit off the play, didn't he?
The screen to the short side this time. Normally you see Dave Pearson over there leading that screen. We saw it a lot against Minnesota. Michigan has changed that up a little bit, and they've got Lentz getting over there, so they're switching up on Ohio State so they can't get a read on it. Lentz and Pearson are both getting over there. This time it was Lentz.
First down after that 15-yard pickup. The ball is at the 27. And here comes Chris Perry. He's going to go to his left after finding no room in the middle. He's over the 35. First down to the 40-yard line. You talk about running the daylight. Chris Perry had to go east and west to find it. But he did, and he got 13 more yards and a Michigan first down.
And Chris did a nice job of that time bouncing it outside. What you do is you get Ohio State, who's very tough inside. You run up to the line of scrimmage and then bounce wide. Wisconsin made big plays out of that bounce play, and Chris Perry that time bounced it wide, got by contain, and out for a first down.
Massacoy and Minery both in the game, two tight ends. Edwards the only wide out. He's out to the right. Gamble's playing him man-to-man. Offset eye power right from the left hash. Perry on a delay, and he's stacked up right in the middle by Darian Scott and by Will Allen, the tackle and the safety. He might have gotten a yard. Timeout with under 10 minutes to go. 15 seconds for our Michigan Sports Network stations to identify themselves right here.
This is the official voice of Michigan football. 760 WJR Detroit.
Let's go blue with WJR.
Chris Perry coming out of the lineup now. Michigan making some substitutions. Chris has had a busy day. 23 carries, 117 yards, and a score. Replaced by Pierre Rembert. Ecker is the tight end on the right. Tab, Breston, and Edwards, three wideouts in the game. Navarre to throw. He's firing near side. He's got Edwards. He's got it over the 45. Rammed out of bounds by, I think that's Gamble who hit him. It is. It'll be a gain of about 6 on the play to the 46, and we'll set up 3rd down and 4 for the Wolverines.
That time Gamble was giving a lot of cushion that time to Braylon Edwards. They were bumping and running on the other side on Carl Tab. But against Braylon that time, they decided they were going to go with a little bit more zone and give Gamble some help. And Braylon broke the pattern off on an out cut. And John Navarre over 3,000 yards passing for the season.
Braylon Edwards, 7 catches, 130 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he had an 87-yard score wiped out by a penalty. Big play here, 3rd and 4, Michigan on the 46. All 3 wideouts to the wide side left. Navarre to throw. Got some time. He's firing for Ecker. He's got it down the right sideline. Inside the 35, inside the 30. Dante Whitner, the nickel back, wrestled him down at the Ohio State 23. They split all 3 of the wideouts to the left and then through to the other side to the tight end, Tyler Ecker.
And what a throw by Navarre. That was good coverage by Ohio State. And Ecker got a step, and Navarre, under some heavy pressure, threw an absolute perfect pass to Ecker for the big, big first down.
30 yards on 3rd and 4, 9 minutes to play. 28-21 Michigan. They're at the Buckeye 24, first down and 10. Butler and Bell out to the left. Perry and Dudley in the eye from the right hash. Bell coming in motion, sets himself to block for Perry on a running play. He breaks through to the 20, puts a shoulder down at the 15, rams into Allen and Sally, the safeties. He got 9 more yards, and Chris Perry just keeps running so hard. 126 yards in 24 carries. That's the best individual performance against the Buckeyes on the ground all year.
And give that offensive line some credit, because they're creating those creases up front. And Chris Perry is running hard, and he's holding on to that football. This has been a great performance by Perry.
8:10 to go. 2nd and 1 at the Buckeye 15. Michigan 414 total yards. They got 146 on the ground against the #1 rush defense in the land. Here's Perry again. High steps at left side, breaks outside, the 10, the 5, touchdown, Chris Perry! From 15 yards out, he scores again.
What a performance.
You know, we have seen Heisman clinching performances in this rivalry 6 years apart by Desmond Howard, by Charles Woodson, and who knows, maybe today by Chris Perry.
I'll tell you this, Chris Perry made a cut as he got through the line of scrimmage. Great block by Dudley, but then the cut to Bet Sally again, and a great block by Tyrese Butler in the end zone got Chris in to score.
Chris Perry, 17 rushing touchdowns, 2 receiving touchdowns, 19 TDs on the year. Garrett Rivas with the extra point, and with 7:55 to go, Michigan 35, Ohio State 21. Timeout. You're listening to Michigan football. Oh, and what a 100th meeting it's been between Michigan and Ohio State. The Buckeyes drive 93 yards to pull within 7, then get an interception. Michigan's defense stiffens. The Buckeyes punt the Wolverines deep on their own 11, and Michigan goes 89 yards in 8 plays. Chris Perry scores his 2nd TD, his 19th overall this year, and it's 35-21. One other note, Jim, 19 touchdowns for Chris Perry. That ties 2nd best all time. Ron Johnson in 68, Anthony Thomas in 2000. The kickoff by Nienberg to the near side. Maurice Hall runs up, grabs it on the 9, to the 10, 15. Woodley hits him short of the 20 and stops him. They'll mark it at the 18. The Michigan record for TDs in a single year, Desmond Howard in his Heisman Trophy year of 91 scored 23. Chris Perry now with 19. And Craig Krenzel is back in the ball game for Ohio State.
How about that for a Warrior, huh?
Yep. He injured that left shoulder a little while back. Scott McMullen came on. They didn't miss a beat.
No.
And now Krenzel is back in. The ball is on the Ohio State 18. Liddell Ross the only setback. Michigan's playing bump and run on the near side on Jenkins. Krenzel to throw, going deep the other way for Santonio Holmes. He reacts to the ball, but so does Jeremy Lesor to break it up with help over there on that far side of the field from Willis Behringer, the sophomore out of Toledo, Ohio.
Well, what a good job by Lesor. That time, Frank, did you see him turn his head earlier? We've seen a couple of times where Jeremy has turned his head a little bit late. This time Holmes goes down, but Lesor gets his head around, and he's got great inside position, and he's able to get a hand on that ball and break it up.
Second down and 10. Later on, we'll name the AT&T Wireless Player of the Game. 7:44 to go. Michigan 35, Ohio State 21. Krenzel in the gun. Bam Childress in as a third wideout. Michigan showing blitz. They're sending only 4. Krenzel steps up, fires over the middle, over the head of his tight end Hartsock, incomplete. Dangerous throw, because when you throw it high in the middle, that can get picked off.
Well, and did you see his feet moving? I mean, Michigan, Lane Cashman that time, coming up around the outside. Krenzel felt him, moved his feet, got up into the pocket, but threw it on the run, and that ball was inaccurate. Must get pressured. And I don't know, you know what? The shoulder injury may take Krenzel out of his run game, where he scrambles so well.
Good point.
You know, he might be a little bit more hesitant to run because of that shoulder.
Jenkins will split wide side right to the short side left. Santonio Holmes and Bam Childress. Krenzel in the gun on 3rd down and 10. Michigan sends 5 on the blitz. Reed coming, but Krenzel gets away, throws, and LeSueur tipped it away from Bam Childress on the crossing route. 4th and 10 coming up for the Buckeyes with 7:34 to go.
I'll tell you what, we talked about Jeremy LeSueur. You got to give LeSueur a lot of credit. Michigan runs a zone deep with 2 safeties, and then they are man for man underneath. And LeSueur has got to run with Bam Childress, and LeSueur just gets a hand up and knocks it away. He's got safety help behind him, but that's just good one-on-one man coverage.
B.J. Sander to punt it away now to Steve Breston. No pressure. They're trying to set up a return. Good, long, high, deep spiral. Back goes Breston to his own 21. Races to his left. Great block by Bell on Gamble. Here's Breston coming back to the right to the 40. 45. He shrugs off a hit at midfield. He's into Ohio State territory at the 45-yard line. What a run back. It's about a 35-yard return after a 60-yard punt, and it was all made possible by Calvin Bell's block. We're going to get a timeout. Michigan with the ball at the Buckeye 46. They've got a 14-point lead and 7:18 left to go at the Big House. From Host Communications, you're listening to the Michigan Sports Network. An all-time NCAA record crowd of 112,118 has been treated to one of the great games in the history of this rivalry.
Oh, it's been a spectacular game. Everything anybody could have asked for.
Yep, 35-21.
It's been something.
Perry in the eye behind Dudley for John Navarre. Chris Perry, 141 yards in 25 carries, 2 touchdowns. More yards than the Buckeyes have allowed to any running back all year. 1 more yard. He's got more than any team has had against them. And here he comes up the middle. And there's that 1 yard to the 45. 2nd and 9 coming up. The clock will run, and that's now on Michigan's side.
And you know, Frank, one of the things that is always said about this football game, we're talking about what a good game it is. One of the things we've always said is that big-time players make big plays in big games, and this is where your legacy is really solidified. Chris Perry, John Navarre, and Braylon Edwards today, I think, have done their part, as has the defense. As a team, they've been outstanding. When they've had to, they've stood up and got the job done.
2nd and 9, still from the right hash. Here comes Edwards, who's had 2 touchdown grabs in motion. He stops, goes back the other way. Perry, little stutter step, cuts right. He's hit, spins away from one tackler, and winds up with a gain of 2 or 3 yards. In the arms of the linebacker Fred Puggett Jr. It'll be 3rd down coming up.
Now you got a 3rd and long, 6:20 to go and ticking. The key here is Ohio State. I think if you're Terry Malone, you got to figure they're going to come with some kind of pressure. They want to create the negative play. So you have a hot read or a hot receiver as a quarterback, or you go max protect with the backfield staying in.
Chris Perry, we mentioned his 144 rushing, Jim. He's also had 45 yards receiving, almost 200 yards total offense. 3rd down here, about 7 to go. Navarre to throw. Has time. He's going deep left side. Braylon Edwards is behind Gamble. The ball underthrown, and Braylon couldn't get back to the ball. Incomplete. Gamble was in his path. The crowd booing. That's not interference.
Nope.
4th down.
Well, John couldn't step into that throw. He had somebody in his face, and he really couldn't step into it. Good coverage by Gamble. And Ohio State changed up. They came with a 4-man rush and stayed back. Gamble had help with a safety, but Michigan couldn't get the ball in there, and so they'll be forced to kick.
5:49 to go. The ball at the Buckeye 43. Adam Finley to punt it away to Michael Jenkins. Buckeyes look like they're going to rush him here. Watch Gamble on the far side off the corner. Nope, he's not coming. Finley's kick, a high spiral toward the near side. Jenkins will let it land behind him at the 1 into the end zone. Touchback. So the Buckeyes wind up at their own 20. The Wolverines would like to have seen them pinned deep, but it didn't happen. It's 5:41 to go. Michigan 35, Ohio State 21. You know, a lot of people in the media have been trying to put a lot of pressure on a lot of Wolverines this week. Say it's the biggest game in Lloyd Carr's career as a coach. John Navarre's signature game. A lot of people have answered the call, and the Buckeyes are the ones who are trying to answer it right now. Craig Krenzel coming back from injury, drops to throw. Quick hitch left side of Jenkins, got it. Tackled almost immediately by Marcus Curry, 7-yard gain. And How many times have they called that play today?
They've called a bunch of them. The key is you tackle them in bounds.
And
Marcus
clock
Curry,
runs, the Buckeyes line up quickly.
Short of a first down, tackle them in bounds, and the Buckeyes going with a no huddle.
2nd down and 3. Krenzel under center, Nick Mangold. Drops to throw, looking down the middle, fires, batted down by Pierre Woods, who dropped out of his rush to knock it away from Hartsock, the tight end.
Well, the Wolverines line up in that defense where they got 3 down linemen, and Pierre Woods in a 2-point stance lines up in the line of scrimmage. He hits into the offensive lineman and then backs out. It's a little like a zone blitz. Pierre Woods came out of nowhere. Krenzel never saw him because he thought he was on a pass rush.
Now changes for the Wolverines on 3rd down and 3. They're having trouble getting the right people in there. Massey finally and Hoyer come out. You got Bowman up front with Kashima. Stevens, and here's Krenzel to throw under pressure. Kashima's got him for a sack on the 20. How about the game Elaine Kashima is playing? He's been out of action for a month. And today in his final game in the big house, he has come up huge. That's his 2nd sack.
Boy, talk about quickness off the ball. I mean, he just got off the ball and got past Rob Sims with an outside move and had a clean rush right on Craig Krenzel. Fresh legs, Frank.
Yep.
Fresh legs from Elaine Kashima.
4:40 to go. The clock running. Ohio State punting it away from their own 20. Sander boots it high and deep again. Breston's got a chance for a return this time from his 20. He breaks to his right, gets a little block, gets the 25, reverses his field, and now he's in trouble. Dustin Fox got to him, and Breston got it back to the 24 with 4:21 to go. Another 60-yard punt by B.J. Sander. My goodness, he's averaging 47 yards on 9 kicks today.
And Frank, it's not just the yardage. He's got like 6 seconds of hang time up there. I mean, he's hitting sand wedges.
Where did they
that
get
never
these
come
guys?
down.
4:21 to go. Michigan's ball on the 24, and here comes Perry off the right side. Shoulder down on that sweep. It's one of the few times Michigan's tried to get wide. Perry has about 3, knocked down by Pugic, the middle linebacker.
But
Perry slow to get up again.
How about
he has
those
been a warrior.
How about those pads cracking? I mean, we can hear it up here.
Chris Perry down on one knee says, "Get out of here." Paul Schmidt, I'm okay. 4:08 to go. The Buckeyes use timeout. That means Chris Perry doesn't have to leave the game.
Right, he can come back in if he wants.
All right, timeout. Ohio State uses the first of its 3. 4:08 to go. Michigan 35, Buckeyes 21. We take timeout too. You're listening to Michigan football. John Navarre under center. No running backs. He fires one left flat and completes it to Perry. Up over the 30, 35, first down. He is knocked out of bounds around the 37. That'll stop the clock. 4:01 to go, but Michigan's got a first down. And once again, Chris Perry slow to get up. What a game.
What a game is right. And how about John Navarre? Here you are, this thing's getting tight. You got some first downs that you need to get. Terry Malone on a 2nd down and long calls a pass play, and Navarre is right on top of it.
Well, Navarre now 20 out of 31, 268 yards, 2 touchdowns. Remember, everybody said this is his legacy game. Chris Perry, 147 rushing and 55 receiving. Over 200 yards total offense. First down at the 37. Under 4 minutes to go. Here comes Perry. Breaks one tackle at the line. He fights up to the 39-yard line. 3.5 to go. 3:31 to be specific. And Ohio State calls timeout to stop the clock.
Well, we talked a little bit, Frank, coming into the game about this is the most balanced team that Ohio State will see all year long. And Michigan has proven it today. The ability to run the ball, but also the ability to throw and throw with effectiveness.
You know, Jim, when you look at this Michigan team and consider they have not scored fewer than 27 points in a game all year, that's remarkable.
It really is. And you've played some darn good defenses. Let's be honest, Purdue, when they came in here, was a darn good defense. Michigan State, on the road, they were a darn good defense. And here against the number 1, I think number 2 in the NCAA overall, they go and put 447 on the board and 35 points. And those are all offensive points, Frank. They didn't get a point from the special teams
punts or returns.
Or returns.
Okay, Michigan at the line of scrimmage, 2nd down. We'll call it 8 to go from the 39, and DeVar gives the ball stretching right to Perry. Cuts upfield through the hole, runs into traffic. Pugic knocks him down at the 42. He got about 4 yards. The Buckeyes will use their final timeout with 3:23 to go. Third down and about 5 coming up. And if the Wolverines can get a first down somehow right here, Jim, they pretty much slam the door on the Buckeyes.
Well, 172 yards rushing, 278 passing. I'd say somebody did a pretty decent job with the Ohio State guys up front.
No sacks by Ohio State, which came into the game with 35 on the year. Navarre gives it to Perry on 3rd and 5. Up the middle, they plug it up. He's going to get to the 44 and be stopped about 2 yards shy. It'll be 4th down. Michigan will have to punt, but the clock will be down close to 2.5 minutes by the time they kick it away.
Michigan going into their tight punt formation now because they know Ohio State's going to try to block it.
Finley with a quick step kicks it away, a low one that'll bounce at the 30, won't be returned by Jenkins. This will roll inside the 20. Shazor and Tab are down there at the 18 to watch the ball roll dead with 2:28 left. The Buckeyes trail 35-21. Michigan leads by 2 touchdowns. Ohio State's got its work cut out now. Michigan is 148 seconds away from its 41st Big Ten championship. Craig Krenzel and the Buckeyes, the defending national champions. And now it is not Krenzel, it's Scott McMullen coming out to run the show from the gun. He's got 5 receivers split wide. You got to believe that injury was hurting Krenzel.
Yep.
Or he re-injured it on that last sack. McMullen to throw, right side. He completes it out there to Holmes, breaking outside at the 30. Shazor and McClintock chase him out of bounds. Another missed tackle allowed Holmes to get a first down out around the 35 and to stop the clock with 2:21 to go.
And one of the keys again, and this is where you've got to tackle Ohio State inbounds. This is where the defense has to make sure that you tackle these receivers inbounds and you keep that clock rolling, because right now the clock is the enemy.
Michigan going with that nickel defense. Leon Hall is out there as the 5th back. McMullen out of the gun, looking right, flips it in the flat. It's caught by Roy Hall, and he broke a tackle around the 40-yard line by Lawrence Reed. He got up close to the first down mark. They're going to give him a first down to the 45. The clock stops, 2:13 to go. Now somebody's got to make a tackle here sometime, Jim, to stop this.
Right, because you're
going to
use another 15 seconds when you tackle a guy inbound short of a first down.
Only a 3-man rush now. McMullen setting up, looking right, swings it in the flat. It's caught out there by Bam Childress, and he's bammed out of bounds by Leon Hall, but that stops the clock with 2 minutes left. The ball's at midfield, 2nd and 5 coming up.
Michigan getting some speed in that lineup up front now. Lamar Woodley comes in for Kashima, who's had a brilliant game.
Massey's in there too, and so is Gabe Watson.
They'll go with a 3-man rush and cover with 8.
Now Michigan's had 4 sacks, boy. Could they use a 5th one right about now? They lead 35-21. 2 minutes to go. Ohio State, no timeouts. Michigan will drop 8 men in coverage. McMullen looking, firing short right, caught by Holmes. He's trying to get out of bounds. He does in the grasp of Hall at the 45. They're going to give him a first down. 1:54 to go, and they're just pecking away, going down the field 5-10 yards at a time.
Yep, they're very patient. And the thing is, they've used very little of the clock.
Only about 34 seconds.
Yep, using the sidelines. Michigan just does not want to give up the big one, so they're going to give the sidelines away, but you can't give up the quick one. That is the important thing. You've got to tackle guys inbounds at this point if you've got the chance.
Now 6 defensive backs for the Wolverines. Make it 7. John Shaw's in there. Jackson's in. Behringer, Hall, Curry, Lesueur, Shazor. McMullen to throw. He's looking left. He fires into traffic. It's tipped. Intercepted by Shazor. Ernest back up to the 35. Goes down. That'll do it. Ernest Shazor comes up with Michigan's first turnover. And the Wolverines are going to win their 41st Big Ten championship in the 100th renewal of the rivalry that we so fondly call the game. 35-21 Michigan, 1:44 to go, and Ohio State is out of timeouts.
Frank, it's been great to be along with you. for this great ride, Michigan-Ohio State 2003, and how important for the defense to come up with the play they needed to put the game away.
Marcus Curry tipped it. Ernest Chazor picked it off. Now Navarre goes to a knee at the 32. And the clock starts running. 1:35 to go, and it's running down, and the Wolverines faithful are on their feet in the big house. Just listen to this gathering. Listen to them cheer. They're embracing one another on the Wolverines sideline. And the Buckeyes can look on forlornly at this point and realize there is nothing they can do. 1:05 remaining as Navarre comes under center. Gets the snap as the play clock winds down with 1 minute to go. Takes a knee. One more time will do it. And Michigan will have defeated Ohio State and won the Big Ten championship outright for the first time in 6 years. Gabe Watson holding a rose on the sideline. The fists are pumping as the Wolverines realize they have this one now in their grasp. 25 seconds. Navarre gets the snap to a knee. He gets up, raises his arms for the ball. The Wolverines on the field. Braylon Edwards, double backflip. The clock winds down to 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And Michigan has won the Big Ten title. John Navarre has the game of a lifetime to put his signature on a great career after everybody tried to put the pressure on John Navarre and tried to put the pressure on Lloyd Carr, who incidentally is now 6-3 against Ohio State and is now 14-3 against top 10 opponents in his career. But Lloyd Carr deserves mention along with the names of all the great coaches who have been here at Michigan, as he and his Wolverines slowly make their way through the throng of students and band members toward the Eastern Tunnel. Helmets held high after beating Ohio State by the final score of 35-21 to win the outright Big Ten title for the first time since '97 and to win it overall for the 41st time in Michigan history. What a game it was, and we've got a lot more to follow. Michigan assured of no worse than a Rose Bowl berth after locking up the Big Ten championship, beating Ohio State 35-21. From Host Communications, you're listening to the Michigan Sports Network.
Only one. It's only one. Only one. Ain't no others, baby. Ain't no others. Ain't no others. Mike Griffey. Ain't no others. There's only one. Undisputed, baby. Yeah.
Tournament of Roses. We have one more presentation, gentlemen. You don't want to hear this.
Oh.
Mike Griffey from the Tournament of Roses is up here. I don't know if you guys mind spending your holidays in Pasadena. Mike Griffey has a little something for you.
First of all, let me congratulate you on your championship, number one. Number two, we'd like to invite you to the Rose Bowl.
We accept. We accept.
It's subject to the final ratings, but we're going to have you in Pasadena on January 1st, 2004.
What you did today, you have left and you will leave a wonderful legacy. You know, there's only one other team. There's only one other team, and you can probably guess which one. Won 7 games at home here at Michigan Stadium. And so you've done that today, and your legacy is still to be finished. So we want to be appreciative for everything we have, and I can tell you this, I've never been prouder of a group of people in my life. We love you too, Lord. Love you, Lord.
Because we have such a great receiver depth. You got all these other guys, Steve, Carl, Calvin, Jermaine, Tyrese, so it wasn't any more pressure on me. We knew we were still going to get it done.
We knew going in that probably you guys wanted to run the ball, no question. But in order to make that work, you guys had to be able to deliver. Talk to me about the planning attack, the passing attack, and what you guys were trying to accomplish.
The main thing we're trying to do is do what we already have been doing, running, passing. This whole year we've been balanced real good. So we said, why change? So we balanced this game as well, and it worked for us in the end.
How heartbroken were you when they called back the long touchdown pass?
Man, I don't even want to talk about it, man. I don't even want to talk about it.
But you had 2 others.
Right, definitely. I had 2 others, so, I mean, but credit those 2 to my players, my other teammates. They set other guys up, got me open. I was just wide open one-on-one, and usually I'm going to win those battles.
It's got to be great for you to see John come in with a big game.
Man, I'm just happy. We sent John out with a Big Ten championship. He's been here 5 years. He's taking criticism for 4.5. So I'm just glad he got a chance to get his ring and not Super Bowl, but the Big Ten title, and I'm just happy for him.
Hey, I think we played our best game as an entire team today, and it showed, I think. We did a great job offensively and defensively, and we needed to do it to win.
All right. It had to be very pleasing for you for the job you did for Chris.
Absolutely. I mean, I love Chris, and I love our entire offense with everything I got. And I mean, it's so fun to see everybody succeed, and it's so great to get a Big Ten championship because we really deserve it.
And it's an outright championship. You don't have to share with anybody.
That's right. It's all our own. We're stingy this year.
Almost said something, didn't you? At any rate, that's a good defensive team.
It's a very good defensive team. They're #1 in the nation. You know, they're defending national champs, and there was a great defense, and we did a great job.
All right. Were you surprised at the ability to run? Talk to me about the plan of being able to run on them.
You know, the plan was that we're gonna try to keep a balanced offense as we've done all year, and I think we accomplished that. You know, today we ran the ball well and passed the ball extremely, extremely well. And John had a great day, and Chris played really well. So we were going on all cylinders.
That's a great job, man. And now your last for hurrah. It's a great way to come out of the big house.
Absolutely, and send us to a great bowl game. I can't wait.
Oh yeah, they're not a bad offensive team. They came out. We knew they had good players over there. The receivers, the running game. You know, they had some couple plays in there, but you know that's how it's gonna be when you play a good team. They're gonna get some, you gonna get some. But when the game was on the line, we made the plays.
That's what I thought was impressive. When you really had to make the play, you did.
That's what we did. That's what this defense do. We don't get rattled, don't get shook up or nothing. They make a couple plays, you know, that's going to happen because they good players, they're on scholarship just like that. But when the game is on the line, I'm going to make the play, and we're going to make the play.
Was this the most exciting game for you in your career?
Oh, yes, it was. This was the biggest and the best game in my career, and I can't think of no other way to go out.
How do you feel being Big Ten champs?
I feel great. Never been a Big Ten champ outright. I feel great. It's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing.
I mean, it's a play we worked on all week, and I just got in there, like, just don't mess up the snap and just do my world on the team. So
you were kind of geeked.
Yeah, I was happy about it because, you know, that's the first time I've been at quarterback for a long time. It's just I felt good just scoring at that position.
You got a touchdown in a big game. Obviously, this has got to be the biggest game for you. Talk to me about the excitement before the game.
Oh man, going in all week. It was a huge game. I felt like all the hype that was going around, and then it kind of went back to and like going into the game the night before, Coach Carr, like before the Minnesota game, like he said, I have a dream that we're gonna win the Big Ten, and like that went through my I know we're gonna come out here and we're gonna play hard, and I know the way we're capable of playing, we could be any team.
And you were able to do a lot. You caught passes, nice run, big run backs. I mean, I think you really, the talk had been that they were the better special teams, but I think we proved we were the better special teams.
Yeah, I'm going in the game. They felt that Ohio State had better special teams than us, and I felt we was capable. I mean, we had some mess ups earlier in the season, but I mean, when we're clicking, when everything's clicking, we're a hell of a team to beat.
Man, this game right here was the biggest game of my life. The older guys, they helped me prepare this week, and we put a great package together. We went out and executed the plan.
All right, what was the plan?
First, the plan was to stop the run and no big plays. That was the plan, to come out there. And offense, you know, they put points on the board, which we did.
All right, and you kept them, and when you really had big plays, when you had to shut them down on 3rd and short.
When we needed to make big stops, we made the big stops.
All right. What does this feel like to you?
This is the greatest feeling in the world, man. I'll be back next year, I hope so.
It feels real good. You know, they always say that however your team do is always going to reflect back on the captains. But, you know, it's just the seniors and everybody, even from the, you know, the freshmen all the way up. You know, everybody just pulled together. We got great chemistry on this team, and we all believed in ourselves no matter what happened.
All right. You got a little nervous there when he came back on you a bit?
Nah, never nervous. You know, it's Ohio State defending national championships. You know, they've been in close games throughout the whole season, you know, and we knew that they was going to fight to the end. You know, that's what they did, but never nervous, you know. I just told the defense it's time for us to step up.
That's what I thought was interesting. Kind of, Coach Carr, there was a comparison between you two teams about never quitting.
Yeah, it's always never quit. You know, especially playing against Ohio State with, you know, they got talent just like we have. And, you know, they got type of players and type of character who ain't going to never quit. And, you know, that's what we told them. We got to keep on going. We got to keep on going because it's going to be a 4-quarter ball game, and they fought hard.
Any special pressure because of the last 2 losses?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's pressure, but, you know, I was just telling I finally get to go home and talk. You know, the last 2 years, I had to walk home with my head down after this game, but Monday, it'd be a lot of talking going on for me at the house.
And it's pretty cool you guys have you heading west or south or wherever. It doesn't really matter where, the fact you got one more game out there.
Yeah, it's just the fact, you know, we got one more game out there. We're just happy to be Big Ten champs, you know, outright Big Ten champs. You know, we went out there, it was all on the line, and we found a way to get it done.
Would you have thought that was possible after the Iowa game?
Yeah, I knew it was still possible. You know, just being around Coach Carr and my teammates, you know, they always told me, like, being a leader, we had a meeting, we said, keep our head up, keep fighting. We still got a lot of football to play, and everybody believed in us. And everybody believed in ourselves. And, you know, we're here today, Big Ten champs, going to the Rose Bowl.
I'm sure it wasn't the best performance, but we won, and we won against the defending national champions, the defending Big Ten champions, and a great team with a lot of character. It was a great football game, and I think this team showed what it's capable of, which is about anything.
And you get to go out to a great bowl game.
Oh, it's going to be, you know, when you come to Michigan, I mean, that's what you think. You mean, you think you're going to be going to the Rose Bowl, and we haven't been out there, but we're going now.
Your career's wound up here for all intents and purposes.
Yep.
Can you reflect a little bit on it?
You know, everybody asks me that if I'm melancholy, but the truth is, you know, it's run its course, and it's somebody else's turn to take the reins of the team. And, you know, that's what the great thing about college football is, that, you know, every year there's going to be new kids in there, new leaders. And I'm just glad that I had the chance to have such a great experience and grow so much as a person. And, you know, I'll always be a Michigan man. I'll always come back. You always see me back here because I love this place, and it's done so much for me. And, you know, I'm excited for the guys, you know, that get the opportunity to have the experiences that I have now. So it's run its course, and it's time to move on, but it's been great.
I think the analyst said we was only supposed to get 10, but we got a lot more than that. It's due to the offensive line, the wide receivers, John and Kevin Dudley. I mean, if he didn't do a great job blocking, I don't know how he would have did it.
Right. And the thing was, over 100 yards, and was able to control the clock, and it became your game, and then you bust off a couple of big ones. John's able to, you know, go deep.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was our plan, to keep our game plan, keep the game in our favor, and that's what we did, you know. Ohio State's a strong team. They came back. They never quit. But today we were a better team.
All right. Injury-wise, it's like no matter what, you were not coming out.
Oh, no, not this game. This is my last one in the big house, and we had to win. So there was no way I was going to come out this game.
All right. But now you get to take it easy for a little while.
Oh, yeah, it's great to have a little bit of a vacation. But, you know, we still got one more game to go, and hopefully wherever it is, we're going to play our best.
Following Iowa, would you have thought this was possible?
I always thought it was possible. I knew I had a great group of guys around me. This is a great team, and we never quit. You know, even in Iowa, when we were down, we kept on coming, and we've been doing it all year.
You're pumped.
Yeah, I'm real pumped. I'm real pumped.
It's unbelievable. It probably hasn't set in yet for me, and but it will. But I think this is the ultimate goal. This is a day you prepare for all your life and all my career here, and this is the ultimate goal. This is a dream come true for me. A real dream for me.
I know this is a team game. You know I know this is a team game. But do you personally feel there's a monkey off your back?
No, I had the monkey off my back last year in my eyes, but you know, the reality part of it is, you know, the media and everybody else, that's not the case. But hey, I was just going to go out and do my thing, and things were going to work out, and things would take care of themselves.
All right. The thing that I loved about this offense is that you were unpredictable.
Yeah, we were, and we had a good. We were going to attack them. We weren't going to play their game. We were just going to play our offense. We had that big goal, and that worked in our favor today.
The cool thing also was the ability to run. I mean, a great job by Chris, and the line did a great job, but you were able to run on like nobody else did.
Yeah, we did, and I had no problem. A lot of people talked before the game, but we had no questions, any doubts about the way we were going to run our offense.
Ready? 1, 2, you know what to do. Hail to the victors valiant, hail to the conquering heroes, hail to Michigan, the leaders, and